This Red Sox Cubs series on NESN is brought to you by Echo Outdoor Power Equipment. And tonight from Fenway, it's the long-awaited Red Sox Cubs series. Two historic franchises playing Game 1. The Cubs coming to Boston as reigning world champs, bringing a host of Red Sox connections. Hi, everybody. Great to have you with us tonight at Fenway. I'm Dave O'Brien. My partner is Red Sox Hall of Famer Jerry Remy. Tom Caron joining us in just a couple of moments. And, Jerry, back in spring training, a lot of people were predicting in October a Red Sox-Cubs World Series. That's a long way off. Here in April, the Red Sox offense is scuffling.
Well, it really is. You know, and it's hard to believe with all the offensive talent the Red Sox have that they are struggling as much as they have. But, you know, a lot of teams do that. And right now, the Red Sox are in that stretch. You go back to the last road trip in Toronto, and from that point on, they've been hitting .202 as a ball club, only averaging less than 2 runs per game, only 8 extra base hits, and 114 with runners in scoring position. Now, it's weird because the Red Sox are still near the top of the league in average, but near the bottom of the league in runs. They're just not getting the home runs right now. Now, how do you get out of a slump like that? It's just, you just don't snap your finger and it happens. I mean, you just got to keep battling away, and hope that you have a big inning, especially early in the game where you can take a lot of pressure off. Get a lead. It's been real taxing on the pitchers recently because the Red Sox haven't been able to score. If they can just get a big inning early in the game, I think everybody will relax and this offense can take off.
No doubt about it. And thousands of Cubs fans have invaded the Fenway. Very festive feel here tonight at Fenway Park. And an outstanding pitchers duel, too. It'll be Drew Pomerance against Jake Arrieta, who a couple of years ago won the National League Cy Young. Red Sox and the Cubs coming at you Game 1 from Fenway Park. Toyota's website for deals. BuyAToyota.com. Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. Infinity. Empower the drive. Plain Ridge Park Casino. 45 minutes from Boston. Ford Trucks. Built Ford Tough. The official truck of the Boston Red Sox. In by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Well, the theme of this weekend is going to be old friends. Victor Rodriguez, Anthony Rizzo there, Theo Epstein in town, of course. That's Uke and Petey, of course, and Pedroia and Lester and John Lackey and John Farrell, among many other connections. There's a lot of them, TC, this weekend.
Yeah, Dave, it's like a college reunion. Everywhere you turn, you see someone who reminds you of the past. Now, Joe Madden was never part of the organization, but he's no stranger to Fenway Park. He was managing in the division for 9 years at the helm of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, and then ultimately the Rays, and ultimately, after so many years of struggling against the Red Sox, beating the Red Sox in the 2008 ALCS. Now he's back at Fenway as manager of the defending world champs, and like the rest of us, he's been looking forward to this weekend for a while.
It's very much fun to be here. It's absolutely fun to be here for me. Being so many years in the American League East, playing so many meaningful games here, having to overcome the Red Sox being up on the Devil Rays, and then eventually being able to do that. You walk in here, there was a time you walk in here, you felt a little bit, I'd say intimidation was a part of the Red Sox method back in the day. I know that we overcame that with the Rays. I know our guys walking in here, I think they're just looking forward to it as opposed to being intimidated by it. And I also believe that playing in Wrigley in front of a full house every night helps you walk in any venue right now and feel pretty much at home. So I'm also happy for a lot of our young guys getting their first op to play here too. I think it's great.
Now, while Madden is back in an American League ballpark, he said he still prefers the National League style of play, although make no mistake, he didn't object to having a DH at his disposal over the next 3 days. Cubs here at Fenway Park for the first time since 2014, and for the first time since winning the World Championship, ending a drought of more than a century. Red Sox and Cubs on a Friday night at Fenway, coming up.
Outdoor power equipment, and a great night to be outdoors and inside Fenway as Drew Pomerance leads the Red Sox onto the diamond for Game 1 against the Cubs. Here's their lineup, brought to you by New England Chevy dealers. Kyle Schwarber will lead it off. Here's their DH tonight. Kris Bryant, the third baseman. Anthony Rizzo, the former Red Sox farmhand, at first. Ben Zobrist in left. Addison Russell at short. Wilson Contreras does the catching. Jason Hayward in right. Javier Baez at second base, and Albert Almora is the center fielder and a number 9 hitter. Against the Red Sox starter, presented by New England Audi dealers, Pomerance 1-1, a .460 ERA, and success against the Cubs in his career.
The Red Sox defense is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. They are 11th in the league with 13 errors in 21 games. Marco Hernandez will be at third base. Xander Bogaerts, the shortstop. Dustin Pedroia at second, and Mitch Moreland, the first baseman. Left to right, Andrew Benintendi, Jackie Bradley Jr., and Mookie Betts. And Christian Vasquez doing the catching for Pomerance.
Umpires brought to you by Toyota's website for deals. That's buyatoyota.com. Mike Everett behind the plate. It'll be Bill Welke at first, Bruce Dreckman at second, Jordan Baker making the calls at third base. We're available. This telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your TV remote. SAP presented by Toyota. Visit compra2toyota.com to see Toyota deals not seen on TV.
Buenas noches, amigos.
And a pleasure to give you this weather forecast brought to you by Benjamin Moore. Paint like no other. 81 degrees here on Yawkey Way. Bit of a breeze, partly cloudy, still plenty of sunshine. The lights are on. It is a gorgeous night for game one.
Now this is baseball weather.
And the Cubs in town for 3. Lester, Lackey, now the enemy. And we will see Lackey in the series. And there's Madden, of course. Joe Madden back after winning the World Championship. After all those years with Tampa Bay, now in his 3rd season with the Cubs. And it was a magical season last year for Chicago, ending a 108-year championship drought. Pomerance ready. And Schwarber gets in. And the first pitch of the series is strike 1. Schwarber hitting .213, 3 home runs. What a story he was last year. Played in only 2 regular season games following torn knee ligament suffered in the outfield in a collision with Dexter Fowler, only to return for the World Series and bat .412.
And not your typical leadoff hitter. I mean, this guy strikes out a lot. He swings hard. 3 home runs already on the season.
Shift on for him in the 0-2. Would not chase it.
Mentioned Pomerance in his career 2-0 against the Cubs. 1-0 last season. Got 10 strikeouts against him in 6 innings.
And a 1-2 pitch. Kris Bryant on deck. He is the reigning most valuable player in the National League.
This is an absolutely great atmosphere here tonight at Fenway Park. It really is.
Yeah, it was really a treat coming to work here, if you can call it that, this afternoon. He went. That is strike 3. Got him with the high, hard one. And Schwarber is done.
Yeah, I mentioned the strikeouts for Schwarber. That's 29 now on the season. He elevates the fastball and tries to check the swing, but he can't do it. So the first strikeout for the night. The high on the season is 10 against Tampa Bay for Pomerance.
Now look at the season that they had. They won 103 games last year, winning the division. Eventually, they fell behind Terry Francona's Cleveland Indians in the World Series 3-1. As Bryant heads in there for a strike on him on the curveball. That's a called strike. They forced Game 7. That went extra innings. They won it 8-7. It's a series that many call the best ever, or one of the best ever. There's a high fly ball. Way back. Over everything and gone by Bryant, his 3rd home run of the season. Tremendous power. And 1-0 Cubs.
And what a pretty swing he has. Home run number 3 on the season for Bryant. He jumps on a high fastball this time from Pomerance. The fastball's going to be about to let a high, and he just runs right into it and hits it an awful long way. Look at that stride. Almost no stride at all from Bryant.
Last year, the MVP of the National League with 39 of them. And it cleared everything. That'll send up Anthony Rizzo. Hitting .277. He's already homered 5 times. Had a great season last year. Former Red Sox farmhand. Still a big Hanley Ramirez fan, he says. Going back to his days in the Red Sox minor league system.
Red Sox in the shift against Rizzo. Marco Hernandez goes to the other side of second base. Pedroia back on the grass. Rizzo right on top of the plate, especially with that back leg.
And the 0-2 from Pomerance. Popped him up. On comes Benintendi. 2 down. So homecoming for that young man as well. He's become a star since he was traded to the San Diego Padres in the Adrian Gonzalez deal many years ago. Eventually finding his way to Chicago. Huge power source for Madden and the Cubs. 2 down for Ben Zobrist. He's in left field tonight. Getting 197 with 2 homers, 8 runs batted in. Switch hitter. But you're right about the atmosphere, Joe. When you come onto Yawkey Way, and for both of us, well, for you that was probably around 11 o'clock this morning. For me it was about 3 o'clock, and it was like party time.
Yeah,
Cubs fans everywhere.
Yeah, when the Cubs came out to warm up prior to the game, you know, huge ovation. A lot of Cubs fans here. It really is a fun atmosphere. We kind of expected this, you know, when we saw the schedule and we saw the Cubs coming in here.
2-1.
And it's actually created more buzz than the Yankee series.
I would say considerably more.
Yeah.
I mean, there was so much media on the field. It was like a playoff game. You know, during batting practice. It feels a lot watching the Cubs and their fans and the reaction in a series like this to just how it felt when the Red Sox won the World Series, you know, in 04, right?
You're exactly right. That's a great comparison right there. They waited so long, as did Red Sox fans, to finally win it. They're at the peak right now of popularity.
Red Sox fans certainly do not begrudge them. 108 years between World Championships for Chicago. No more talk of curses in either city. 2-2. Slap toward right. Betts charging in. Bookie a sliding play to make the catch and retire the side. But Kris Bryant goes to Lansdowne, and it is 1-0 Cubs with the Sox coming up. Front here 1-0. Here's the Red Sox lineup now. It's brought to you by Toyota's website for deals. Buyatoyota.com. Different look to it tonight. Xander leading off. Benintendi, Betts, Ramirez, and Moreland. And Dustin Pedroia, for the first time in his career, batting 6th. Jackie Bradley in center. Christian Vasquez doing the catching. Marco Hernandez back at third base tonight, hitting 9th against Jake Arrieta. Off to an excellent start. He's 3-0. ERA 3.65. It's been a major part of the Cubs' success the last few years. And Xander Bogaerts will test him initially, hitting .313. Red Sox trying to get the offense in gear. And Arrieta's first one. Ball one.
See a number of pitches from Arrieta. The fastball, the cut fastball, breaking ball, changeup. Kind of throws his back to the hitter as he delivers to home plate. And good velocity, 94 on that last fastball.
He won the Cy Young Award in 2015. He went 22-6 with a 1.77 ERA. Brings back Pedro kind of numbers. Up the middle, but there's Arrieta to snag that. Lob toss on to first. One man gone.
Let's look at the Cubs defense. They're 10th in the National League. They've made 17 errors in 21 games. Kris Bryant at third base, Addison Russell the shortstop, Javier Baez at second, and Anthony Rizzo the first baseman. Ben Zobrist in left, Albert Almora Jr. in center, and Jason Hayward the right fielder. Wilson Contreras doing the catching for Arrieta.
Benintendi next, now hitting .329 with a homer and 11 runs driven in. Xander Bogaerts referenced the absence of David Ortiz after last night's shutout loss, but the Red Sox have been shut out 3 times in the last week.
Yeah, it's been a long week for the Red Sox offense.
I don't think there's a man in there who believes this is going to continue for very much longer, and the track records of the hitters, even guys who haven't been in the big leagues that long like Jackie Bradley, are very strong.
Exactly. It's just one of those streaks that they're in. Every club goes through them. But the Red Sox going through it right now, and it started back in that Toronto series on the last road trip.
Some have been suggesting, not among the Red Sox, but of course among the media, another hitter, another bat's got to be added. The 2-1 on the way, and a high fly to right field. Hayward driven back, still backing up, all the way to the wall. Can't get it, and it's into the bullpen. Man, did that carry. And Benintendi has tied the game. Boy, you thought for a split second Hayward, who's a Gold Glover, might have a shot to make a sensational catch, but he couldn't get to it.
Well, we talked about it, Dave. Scoring early, put some runs on the board early, take the pressure off everybody, and Benintendi gets the fastball right here. And I wasn't sure on contact whether this was going to make it, but you know, that's what happens in this ballpark when it's 81 degrees at game time. The ball just travels better, and Hayward just running out of real estate.
It started to feel a little like Torrey Hunter, didn't it?
Yeah.
Here's Mookie Betts, and Mookie will take a strike for every Red Sox home run this season. Speedway donates $500 to Boston Children's Hospital. Visit your Boston area Speedway during April. Use your Speedy Rewards card when you purchase $3 of in-store merchandise and get 10 cents off per gallon of gas. Same police officer, same victory sign out there with the home run going into the bullpen.
He helped us out. We couldn't tell.
Yeah. Red Sox with a blast to tie it. Maybe a sign the ball is really going to carry tonight, as you mentioned. That would be welcome by the fans here at Fenway. And the 2-1. Mookie 0 for 3 last night. He hit his first career home run against the Cubs in July of 2014. Three and two.
That's pretty nasty 3-1 pitch right there. A fastball to the outside corner by Arrieta. Certainly not a pitch Betts wants to swing at on a 3-1 count.
Andy Ramirez on deck, and a payoff pitch. Line shot, a base hit toward the alley. Maybe looking for extras. Almora over to cut it. Mookie wants 2. Heading into second. He'll slide in way ahead of the throw with a double.
Got a little bobble out there by Almora Jr., but I think Betts would have had the double anyway. Gets a 3-2 fastball right down the middle and puts it on a line. That ball stayed inside. That's where Betts likes it. Tracked down by Almora in center field. A little bit of bobble and no problem for Betts getting to second base. I think this should be a flat-out double. No worry given right there. That's just my opinion.
So 2 for Betts. We'll see if they rule an error on the play in the end. And here's Hanley looking for an RBI, which would be his 8th. He's one of the only bright spots offensively last night with a pair of singles against Tanaka. Arrieta, guys, really come out of nowhere to be one of the best pitchers in the National League. Remember, he was with the Baltimore Orioles, and he was a very mediocre pitcher with them. He went 20 and 25.
Red Sox had good success against him. A little bit of a turnover fastball that time. Two-seamer at 94 miles an hour. Down and into Ramirez.
Yeah, between 2010 and 2013, his years with the Orioles, went 4-2. He had one year he went 10-5 and he got hurt. But just a so-so resume in the American League. Ground ball, that is fair. That's going to keep on rolling. And Mookie's going to keep on running. He is in to score. Andy Ramirez back to first base with an RBI single, and the Red Sox have the lead 2-1.
Isn't that a beautiful thing right there by Hanley? I mean, you know, to get out of slumps, you got to get a little bit lucky, too. And Hanley just dribbling it right down the first base line. You can see where Rizzo's playing well off the bag. He can't catch up to it. Bet scores with no problem. And Hanley has to scuffle back to first base. So 3 in a row, a home run, a double, and now the single by Ramirez.
They'll send up Mitch Moreland looking to keep it rolling. Benintendi with the blast. Mookie Betts with the double. Still keeping that double in the books right now.
That should be.
I think that's what the ruling ought to be. Moreland hitting .295 with 2 homers. He's driven in 9. That one right through the catcher Contreras, and Hanley's going to jog into second base. So the catcher Contreras could not control that one, and the Red Sox have another man in scoring position.
Yeah, fastball that was supposed to be away but goes inside, and Contreras reaching across his body can't get to it, and Hanley gets in a scoring position.
It'll be a wild pitch. Moreland did not get a hit in the shortened Yankee series. He went 0 for 5. Big cut and a miss. He was trying to get a piece of that bullpen.
Yeah, big curveball that time by Arrieta. See the shift on right now. Moreland pretty much straight up in the outfield.
Arrieta already touched up for 2 runs and 3 hits. Ramirez at second. And down to the dirt, blocked by Contreras. Dustin Pedroia on deck. John Farrell dropping him in the lineup tonight to the only spot previously he had never hit in for the Red Sox. He had hit in every other spot.
Yeah, most of his big numbers are up at the top of the lineup, and then a few at bats down toward the bottom of the lineup, but never the 6 hole.
Trying to get his timing back after missing those games after the spiking. Here's the 2-1. Flared foul out of play. Moreland does have 13 extra base hits. Of course, the 11 doubles, that continues to lead the majors. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, and 2 runs in. Arrieta has found success later in his career. He's now 31.
Good job fouling it off by Moreland. That's one of those breaking balls that starts way outside and comes back to the outside corner, and Moreland very fortunate just to get a piece of that and see another pitch. Look how far outside that is. In a right-hander's batter's box. Out on his front foot, but just taps it foul.
2-2, and he'll get time here from Mike Everett. That's a good start for the Red Sox, trying to do something about the fact they're 13th in the American League in runs right now. And a 2-2. They're really making him work here in the first inning. Arrieta was excellent in the World Series against the Cleveland Indians. He went 2-0, an ERA of 2.38. So he did exactly what they needed him to do. It was as entertaining a World Series as you're going to see. Moreland does have a career home run against him, 2 for 6, and now Contreras coming out.
Yeah, 3 different sets of signs put down by Contreras. Arrieta didn't like any of them, so he just tells him what he wants to throw on the 3-2 count.
Ramirez at second with 1 away, and the 3-2. That's a bullet down the line. That's going to score another run. It'll keep on rolling up against the side fence. Hanley Ramirez in to score, and there's double number 12 for Moreland. The Red Sox lead it 3-1.
Well, they decide on the cut fastball, and the cut fastball is ripped down that right field line by Moreland. Moreland picks up his 10th RBI of the season on this cutter. Right out over the plate, hooks it, top spin line drive all the way down the right field line, and once it gets by the first baseman, Hanley has no problem scoring. Hesitates a second to make sure it was not caught, and then he'll come around and score. And well, that quickly the Red Sox got 3 on the board.
They'll send up Pedroia now, trying to bust out. 242. No homers yet. See if tonight's the night. Maybe a lot of guys will be busting out tonight. And the 0-1. High and tight off the mid of the catcher. That goes to the backstop, and that'll advance the runner.
That ball just getting away from Arrieta right there, and then going off the glove of Contreras. Spinning away is Pedroia, but that moves another man in the scoring position.
That's his second wild pitch here in the first inning. Let's go to TC.
Yeah, Dave, as you guys mentioned, more than 1,400 Major League games with the Red Sox for Dustin Pedroia, but he's never batted 6th. John Farrell joined me on Friday Night Fenway tonight, and he said the reason was twofold. A, he hasn't played much. He'd gone 5 games after that slide from Manny Machado on the sidelines. And B, get a little speed. Xander Bogaerts at the top of the order tonight. So far, guys, it's paying off.
Sure is. And Arrieta's wild.
Yeah, right now he's all over the place. Infield in for the Cubs early.
Pedroia has seen a lot of Arrieta, one of the few guys in the lineup who has, and he has a home run off him. That's going to just miss.
That's pretty good pitch right there, yeah. Dave. I thought that was going to be a strike.
Right there at the hollow of the knee.
Yeah, it sure did.
So the count 3-1. Good count for Pedroia. Jackie Bradley on deck. And he walked him, and that missed badly. That's 5 straight Red Sox have reached base.
Well, now the Cubs will move the infield back to a double play situation with 1 out.
And they'll bring up a mound visit. Kris Bryant, the pitching coach, is away for this weekend series on a personal matter. So they've actually brought in Lester Strode, who is the bullpen coach, to sub as the pitching coach this weekend for Chicago. So Jackie comes up with an opportunity to do some damage. 1st and 3rd, and 1 man gone. Jackie 226, a home run, 4 runs driven in. Red Sox could really bust it open early.
Now, this is a little bit what we talked about, Dave, in our open today. You know, get some runs early if you can. Make the other team play from behind. Takes a lot of pressure off everybody.
Certainly Pedroia capable when completely healthy, stealing the base, still an aching knee. Again, good patience by the Red Sox here, knowing he's wild.
Yeah, and Arrieta is a good guy to get a jump on because he's pretty slow delivering the ball to home plate. But of course, remember, Pedroia still being bothered somewhat by that knee.
Jackie Bradley, the 7th Red Sox hitter here in the first inning. Sox up 3-1. Home run cut, 2-1. Vasquez next. The Sox with the kind of start they have been hoping for a couple of weeks, it feels like, here in the first inning. 2-1 and a swing and a miss. Of course, did get an excellent kind of start against the Orioles the other day when they jumped on Gausman and scored enough runs early on to put that game away. Have been few and far between, and a lot of smiles all of a sudden in that dugout. Oh, that one almost got him. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Now let's see if they send Pedroia on the 3-2 count with 1 out. Fastball that he has to jump out of the way of, heading for his shins. Or shin, one of the two.
Almost got something.
Yeah.
Moreland at third base, Pedroia at first. Runners hold. Ground ball up the middle. It's going to squeak through. Another run is in. Moreland scores. Pedroia taken out for third. He's there diving in safely. Back to first. Bradley just gets back as the throw came in. Bit of a surprise, but he picks up an RBI. And the Red Sox are ahead 4-1.
Now Bradley breaks up an 0-for-11 streak right there with that base hit up the middle. Fastball away, hooks it on the ground. And it heads right back up the middle for the base hit. Even though they're playing them to pull, as you can see, the shortstop Russell. That ball's to the second base side. Another run in. Pedroia with the head first slide into third base. And the Red Sox keep it going here in the first inning.
Still only 1 man out. Jackie had to scoot on back. The tag didn't get him. Vasquez now the 8th man to hit in the inning.
I'll tell you, I keep the pressure on right here. Put on the hit and run. I really would. Vasquez is a guy you can do that with.
And Christian hitting .478.
One thing you don't want is double play to end the inning. Maybe move a guy.
Red Sox have scored enough in the first inning for 2 Chris Sale victories. And that's in there for a called strike. First and third, pressure indeed. Red Sox already with 5 hits, including a home run. And looking like the offense they are capable of being. There's a shot to right for a base hit. Dustin Pedroia scores. First and second, 5-1.
Great hitting there again by Vasquez. He gets the cut fastball or the slider, one of the two, and he takes it to the opposite field on the line. And watch this ball break away. A lot of break to it, but it stays over the plate, down around the knees, and perfect swing by Vasquez. Head of the baseball, solid contact. The Red Sox pick up another. Wow, a 5 spot in the first.
Boy, has he had an outstanding April. Offensively and defensively. More pressure on Arrieta. Here's Marco Hernandez trying to keep the line moving. 268, no home runs for Marco. It's 37 pitches for Jake Arrieta.
Yeah,
Very difficult first inning. Some good hitting by the Red Sox.
Bradley at second, Vasquez at first. Still just the one man away. High fly ball down the line, giving chase. Zobrist creeping near the stands, has room to make the catch. And the runners have to hold, 2 down.
Now there's a guy out there that's familiar with left field here at Fenway Park. Ben Zobrist played there quite often with the Tampa Bay Rays.
Played all over this diamond.
All over the place. Yeah, infield, outfield.
Guy they put on wheels.
Very solid player.
There's the score on the phone. Red Sox on top 5-1. And Boston has batted around. Here's Xander Bogaerts, who began the inning with a sharp comebacker that Arrieta handled and threw him out at first base. So second at bat in the first inning for Bogaerts. Two down, 2 on, 5 runs in. And the breaking ball finds the mark for a strike. Arrieta with 2 wild pitches and a walk in the inning. He's done a lot of damage to himself, but the Red Sox bats have done a lot more with 6 hits. And the 0-1. Tried to hold up. They do appeal. No swing.
Take a look from the side. Bogaerts does a good job most of the time holding up on those pitches. See those hands come out in front of him, and the barrel of the bat stays back.
Arrieta already at 41 pitches. 1 and 2. Last couple of years, he has not had many innings like this.
No. And you know, you look at what the Red Sox have done recently, and this last thing you would expect in the first inning, but it's what the Red Sox need desperately.
Benintendi looking to bat for the second time in the inning. He's already ripped a home run. His second of the season. Here comes the 1-2. Swing and a miss, and that inning ends, but the Red Sox score 5 times. And for Sox fans everywhere, just what the doctor ordered. It started with the blast from Benintendi. And the Cubs Red Sox series history, the Cubs lead 7-5 all time, 4-2 at Fenway. Red Sox defeated the Cubs 4-2 in the 1918 World Series. The last meeting in 2014, the Cubs would sweep that 3-game series, but Drew Pomerance suddenly has all sorts of wiggle room. As we go to the top of the second inning, Red Sox had 5-1. Red Sox had scored, Jerry, just 7 first-inning runs all season until exploding here tonight.
It's kind of like what we talked about, Dave. You know, make them chase. That hasn't happened very often.
Russell floats that one off the end of the bat into shallow right. Mookie Betts will scoop that up. Addison Russell on with a base hit to begin the second.
Well, you know, Hanley got a little squib down that first base line that got a run in for the Red Sox, and now very similar is Russell with a ball down that first base line.
All-star shortstop is on, and that'll bring up the catcher Contreras. 254 with 2 home runs, including a grand slam last Saturday. First of his career. Jason Hayward will follow him. And in there for strike 1 on Contreras. So many Red Sox connections. Not only John Lester and John Lackey, Koji Uehara is also working out of their bullpen. He's not their closer, but he's pitching well.
It's amazing. Down on the field prior to the game, I mean, everywhere you look, there's somebody you know. I mean, it's incredible the connection between the Cubs and the Red Sox.
You went down and you were chatting with John Lester a little bit, and there's John Lackey, and there's Theo Epstein. And
yeah, I mean everybody.
Pomerance with a 1-1. That drops in for a strike. John Lester will not pitch in the series. John Lackey will. He'll be pitching tomorrow afternoon at 4:05 against Stephen Wright. Kyle Hendricks against Eduardo Rodriguez on Sunday.
Couple on steals on the season for Russell. So early in the game, the score won't change that if he wants to go. So a check by Pomerance.
John Lackey, the owner of 3 World Championship rings with 3 different franchises. Remember, he won one with the Angels too. Softly hit, almost got the feet of Russell, but Contreras nudges that one into right field, and it'll be first and second. Couple of balls not very hard hit, but they found a hole.
Yeah, opposite field base hits, but one by Russell. This time a ground ball by Contreras through first and second, and you can see Russell having to jump over the baseball, make sure that it doesn't make contact with him and be called out.
So Hayward will be next. Jason Hayward, right fielder, hitting .284 with 3 home runs. See, where's that flap on that side of his face? Because he had his jaw shattered when he was with the Atlanta Braves 4 years ago when he was hit by a pitch. He has 11 RBIs in his last 6 games, so he's been trouble. He has 16 RBIs already. Tried to hold up, I think, and he swung and missed for strike 1.
Yeah, Pomerance going to the curveball on the first pitch, and it looked like Hayward was all geared up for the fastball, didn't get it. Fooled.
Cubs fans bought their tickets early to come to Fenway. And there are thousands of them here in Boston tonight. And Pomerance with the 0-1 to Hayward. 0-2. Hayward off to a good start this year. Had a very tough year last year. Hit just .230 with 7 home runs.
He's got pretty good numbers, very good numbers against Pomerance. 2 for 4, only 4 at bats, but 2 hits.
He has bounced back this year. Baez on deck. Pomerance looking for his second K in the book. With 2 men on. Just outside. Hayward's tough regular season followed him into the postseason. Last October, just a miserable time. He went 5 for 48 in the playoffs. And wound up with a World Series championship. Russell at second, Contreras at first. And he left that one outside.
Yeah, twice trying to go to the fastball on the outside part of the plate. Both times just missing outside. Now when you see what he does with the 2-2 count, does he go back to the curveball against the left-hander?
And Pomerance trying to recapture the stuff he showed in his first start of the season against Baltimore when he went 6 strong innings. He got him. He struck him out.
He does go to the breaking ball after missing outside twice with the fastball. Back to the curveball, which is his best pitch. And not even close to making contact was Hayward there. Did not have a very good swing at all.
It's a big first out for Drew here. Double play would get him out of it. Baez the batter, 214, 1 home run. He's driven in 5. He started at second base in every postseason game last fall. And he was the co-MVP in the National League Championship Series. Cubs won in 6 games over the Dodgers. Dave Roberts' Dodgers, who had a heck of a year. So did Dave. Nice stop by Vasquez. Runners hold.
And one thing about that curveball, you know, when it goes, catchers know that when it bounces, it's going to come back to them. And you'll see this ball hit the ground and come back towards Vasquez. So he slides over and gets in a position to be able to block it or catch it. There he just knocks it down with his glove.
One man out. Red Sox ahead 5-1 in the second inning. He punches that one right through at 92. Baez has been cold with the bat lately. The last 5 games, just 4 for 21. Pomerance trying to take advantage of that. Takes a sign from Vasquez and a 1-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Going back to that knuckle curve that his dad taught him, which is a really good pitch for Pomerance. Cubs with back-to-back singles to begin the second inning. Two one, double play material. Pedroia 1-2. Pomerance gets out of the inning. Despite giving up a couple of hits, gets a big double play. 52 strikeouts in his first 5 games. Since 1893, only one pitcher has more Ks his first 5 games with the team. Randy Johnson with 55 with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Twisted Tea tasting like real iced tea. Be a little twisted. And the former Red Sox now at the Cubs, Lester, Lackey, and Koji Uehara. They got a wonderful round of applause as a vignette was played on the big scoreboard, and the fans cheered them here at Fenway Park for their accomplishments and leading the Red Sox to world championships. Red Sox ahead 5-1 as we go to the bottom of the second inning. Benintendi launched a home run into the bullpen to get the Red Sox offense started, and it didn't stop. The Red Sox sent 10 men to hit in the first inning against Arrieta.
Good changeup that time by Arrieta, 87 miles an hour away from Benintendi. Quickly jumps in front.
And the 0-2. He struck him out. One man gone in the Sox second. Mookie Betts next.
Yeah, changeup again. Back-to-back changeups away from Benintendi to pick up the strikeout.
Arrieta really had a remarkable season 2 years ago. Finished the year with a run of 20 consecutive quality starts. It's a major league record. Tossed a no-hitter. Went 13-1 on the road. Mookie Betts 1 for 1 with a double and a run as he'll look at a strike. Sox in that first inning with 3 extra base hits against one of the best pitchers in the National League. That one popped up. Shortstop Russell out doing the breaststroke, and 2 gone.
Hell, the Cubs are at Fenway this weekend, and tickets were just released for Sunday's game. Come watch the Sox take on the World Series champs. Visit redsox.com/tickets.
And Ramirez now, he drove in a run with a base hit that he nudged just inside the first base bag and down the right field line in the first inning. Red Sox did make a roster move today. Chase Darno, who is a utility man, claimed off waivers from Atlanta and has been added to the 25-man roster. There he is.
Yeah, 2-full move there. They needed a guy like Darno who can play a lot of different positions.
Baez there to pick it up on the cut of the grass. And the Red Sox go 1-2-3. Boy, talk about night and day. The first of the second inning for that man, Arrieta. AARP. Drew Pomerance coming into tonight. 3 career starts against the Cubs. 2-0, 1.13 the ERA. 14 strikeouts in 16 innings. That includes an outstanding performance last year when he was with San Diego. Pitched really well against them at Wrigley Field. And he beat them there. First man in against him here in the 3rd inning will be Albert Almora, their center fielder. He'll be followed by Schwarber and then Kris Bryant, who has blasted a home run out of Fenway. That's their only run. There's a high fly ball to left field. Benintendi back, turning around into the monster seats and gone. Second home run tonight for Chicago. That'll make it 5-2 Boston.
Now this was by design. They wanted to go upstairs with the fastball right there. It did get it upstairs, but he's able to take it out of the ballpark for the home run. Here's a case where you make the pitch you want to make, and yet it's hit out of the ballpark for a home run.
Now Morrow with his second. 3rd home run in the game by the 2 clubs combined, and here's Schwarber, who struck out in the 1st inning. Excellent power from this guy too. In 2015 postseason, he hit 5 home runs. The man who hit the longest one tonight is on deck. That's Kris Bryant. His dad is here tonight. He's a former Red Sox farmhand. He's an infielder in the minor league system back in the 80s.
Yeah, OB, we're down here with Mike Bryant, Chris's dad. And yeah, you're a local boy, born in Medford, went to Acton Boxborough High, U Lowell as it was called back then.
Yes, yeah, I'm a Pilgrim.
Drafted by the Red Sox. You were dreaming that someday you'd hit a home run like your son just did here at Fenway.
Oh yeah, ever since I was, when I was 8 years old, following the Red Sox back in '67, Carl Yastrzemski was my hero, and that spurned all my dreams of playing in Fenway Park.
And you were drafted by the Red Sox. Obviously, you go to spring training, guys like Yaz around. What was that like for a local kid?
I couldn't sleep for about 6 months. It was awesome.
You went out to Vegas and you started your baseball academy. Your son's obviously been the star pupil. So as a hitting coach, how do you analyze that home run swing from his last at bat?
That was pretty simple. The old Ted Williams thing. Hit it hard, hit it in the air, and he did. It was amazing.
Ted Williams would have been proud. The Science of Hitting. I know you were a big fan of the book.
Yeah, I had that book since I was 14, and I never really understood it until I was into my 20s. Ted Williams was an absolutely amazing person. When he talked about hitting, his eyes lit up. Uh-oh, we got a pesky pole. Almost.
You almost got to call his home run.
Hey, that would be amazing, huh? Me and Jerry Remy. I used to work out with Jerry, at Tufts.
Yeah, was he a beast back then?
Jerry Remy?
Yeah.
He was the fastest runner I'd ever seen. Gave me one of his bats. What a thrill that was.
How proud are you of what he has accomplished and being part of that amazing Cubs run last year?
I don't know if I could find words. I've just, the last 4 years of my life, I've been on such a high, and wondering why this game is all of a sudden giving so much to me. I'm so pleased. It's just incredible.
And you're back here for the weekend, so other than watching your son play at Fenway Park, what's a highlight from Mike Bryant's return to Boston?
Oh, everybody knows the chowder and the seafood. Absolutely. I live in the desert. I live in Las Vegas, and I've been away from seafood really for a long, long time. And my wife thinks I'm nuts, but I've already had like 3 bowls of chowder, a lobster, a couple, 3 pounds of steamers. I'm ready to crank it up.
And he says chowder like a local. That's perfect. Mike, enjoy the weekend. Thanks for joining us.
I will. This was a pleasure.
Proudest dad at Fenway tonight, guys. Mike Bryant with me here.
Oh, no question about that, TC. Great stuff there with Mike, who built a batting cage in Las Vegas at their home for Kris. That turned out pretty good.
Not bad.
The 2-2. Mike said, my wife thinks I'm nuts. Join the club on that one. I think we all feel the same way. But what a success story this is. 2016 National League MVP. And a home run totally out of Fenway Park tonight with his dad watching. 3-2. There's Pedroia over on the left side of second base to gun him down. Out number 2.
I think Dustin got fooled a little bit, thought that was the third out of the inning as he started to run it toward the dugout, and then decided, well, I better flip it to Moreland because we got one more out to get.
Well, that Mike Bryant said, by the way, you're the fastest runner he's ever seen.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that, but maybe the fastest at Tufts while we were working out. Watch Dustin make the throw. Now he's at shortstop. He's a little out of whack right now, so he thinks there's probably 3 outs. They flip the ball back to him, but he continues to run. He goes, wait a minute. No, 2 outs. Excuse me. It happens to everybody.
High fly, pop not deep into right field off the bat of Rizzo. And Mookie Betts will put that away. Another home run for Chicago. This one by the number 9 hitter. 5-2, Sox in front. Which ballpark in history would you prefer to watch a game in? Text 1 for Wrigley Field, text 2 for Old Yankee Stadium. If you had a choice between those two, text your answer to 536-536. Message and data rates may apply. 1 message per vote.
That is a real tough one right there. I've only been to Wrigley once when the Red Sox were there a number of years ago. I've been to the Old Yankee many times. And I absolutely loved playing in the Old Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, you were saying that the other day. It was a thrill for you.
It was something special.
You had a great note about standing there, watching Guidry on the mound. 48,000 people in the building as Moreland flicks that one foul, and you couldn't hear yourself think.
No, the thing about the stadium, everybody was right on top of you. Double deck, 3 decks actually, right on top of you, and. When Guidry get the 2 strikes, they just all get up and start cheering, and your legs would be shaking in the batter's box. You kind of knew you were punching out. It was that kind of feeling. It was awesome.
The Old Yankee Stadium had a life of its own. The new place does not have it. Cross for a call. It's trying. The place to be at Wrigley, if you're going, is actually the bleachers.
Yeah.
To hang with those folks.
I enjoyed Wrigley when I saw it too for the first time. Actually, you know better than I do. You've done more games at Wrigley than I've been there.
I think I've done 40 or 50 games in there. And it's a treat. It's special. There's no doubt about it. Right there in the neighborhood. Probably my second favorite ballpark. Cubs fans, a lot of them here for the first time at Fenway. They do not have monster seats there. You can watch the game across the street. Hot shot, Arrieta, very good fielder, makes a nice play. One man out. Time now to see who's been driving the ball, presented by Toyo Tires. Dustin Pedroia. In interleague play, he's always thrived. Now 170 games, including tonight. Scored 120 runs because he has scored tonight. Toyo Tires, the official tire of the Boston Red Sox. Dustin with a walk and a run in the first inning, which was a walk on the wild side for Arrieta because he also tossed 2 wild pitches. At times he was wild in the strike zone. Red Sox hit him, getting 5 runs in the opening frame. A strike. Lots of celebrities here tonight to take in this series. Somebody said Eddie Vedder's here.
Well, if he is, TC will find him.
Lead singer for Pearl Jam, and that's a little bit high. There's Eddie Vedder. Huge baseball fan. Yes, see, he keeps score.
Yeah, he's watching TV and keeping score.
He's for real. He's legit. Great pipes. Foul tipped off Contreras. 2-2. Jackie Bradley on deck. Jackie with an RBI single his first time up. Red Sox waking up offensively here tonight. Now Arrieta bounced back at a 1-2-3 second inning, and he has the first 2 out pretty quickly here in the third. A K for Pedroia.
Yeah, he really has settled down. You mentioned the 1-2-3 in this inning, the 1-3, now the strikeout. That first out of the inning was a nice high hop to him, which made it easy. This is looks to be a 2-seam fastball that's going back inside against Pedroia for the strikeout.
Jackie Bradley snapped an 0 for 11 with that single in the first. Arrieta last year won 18 games for Chicago after winning 22 the year before. 3.10 ERA last year. That one tied him up 0-2.
Yeah, much sharper right now. Very good curveball that time by Arrieta.
And the 2-strike pitch. Rattle foul off first base. Arrieta says one of his best childhood memories was listening to his grandfather describe being in the stands for one of Nolan Ryan's no-hitters. Which is what, 1 of 7?
I was lucky to be behind one of those on the field.
Yes. 0-2. What was that like?
You know, it's nerve-wracking because you know, you're kind of sitting back all day watching this guy, and nothing's happening. He's just striking guys out. There's like a few fly balls, you know, not many ground balls when he pitched. And then when you get late in the game, you know, you get from the 6th on, you always think he's got a chance to do it. And he always had that feeling.
Cut on a miss for strike 3. So the Red Sox go down 1-2-3. This guy's thrown 2 no-hitters in his career. 5-2. Red Sox in front. sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Pretty night here at Fenway. Great baseball weather, and the Sox exploding for 5 runs in the first inning against Arrieta, but he's a different pitcher. The last couple of frames, 5-2, Red Sox leading the Cubs here in game 1. Rob Ninkovich in the stands here tonight. Pat's linebacker taking it in, enjoying the game and the wonderful weather. As Zobrist lead things off here in the 4th inning. He's 0 for 1 with a fly to right. He'll be followed by Russell and then Contreras, so that's 4, 5, and 6 for the Cubs. So far, Pomerance has allowed a pair of home runs, one to Kris Bryant and the other to Almora, the center fielder. Zobrist off to a pretty soft start to this point, hitting under 200. We were talking about Arrieta's 2 no-hitters and you playing behind Nolan Ryan for one of his 7.
Yeah, it was against the Baltimore Orioles, and you know, as I said, you know, they always had the feeling if he got to the 5th or 6th inning, there was a chance that night he was going to throw a no-hitter. He had that kind of stuff. And a 2-1 fly ball, well hit, but backing up Benintendi, and there for out number 1. I remember late in the game was about the 7th inning, and Tommy Davis hit a ground ball up the middle, and he was not a good runner, and I was able to make a backhanded play, throw to first, get the out. But as the game goes on, 7th, 8th, 9th, you know, you get nervous out there as a fielder because you don't want to be the guy that misses a ball by that much. You know, you want to make sure you're in perfect position all the time, and you kind of start to shake a little bit out there because you know what's going to happen, you know, what could happen, and you don't want to be the guy that's out of position, or you dive and you miss it by an inch and it becomes a base hit. So it's nerve-wracking for everybody.
Russell, the batteries 1 for 1 with a single.
And then I've been on the other side of a lot of no-hitters. And that's not fun at all.
Keep a running tally on how many?
You know, I'm going to have to say, I'm going to give you a rough estimate of 4. One of them was Dennis Eckersley with the Cleveland Indians. I think I was a rookie that season. He was with the Indians. And he was so good that night that he'd get somebody out and he was pointing to the on-deck batter and get in the box.
Little dribbler, might be a tough play. Pomerance going to throw and up the line. He threw it away, and that'll skip up into the stands. That's one that he should have just stuck in his back pocket. And Russell is down to second.
Yeah, that's one there where you just pick it up and go back to the mound because there's really little chance, you know. Russell's got great speed going down the line. If it's not the third baseman that makes the play, Pomerance probably better off just putting it in his back pocket, as you said, and having the man at first base. He just let that fly, and the Cubs get a man in scoring position.
That look says it all. So base hit and E1. And Contreras next. He has singled. And the Cubs creeping back into this thing after the Red Sox took the 5-1 lead. 1 man away, and that'll be ball 1. That's funny. As we watch no-hitters unfold, we think all you guys are like, hit the ball to me, hit the ball to me. I really want
hit it to somebody else. You know what? I'll tell you what, they're lying. You know, go strike them out. That's the best way.
That's what they say after the game.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Not during the game.
I wanted every ground ball. No way. Just strike them out.
Was he a demanding pitcher? Was he one of those guys?
Oh, no, he was great. He was one of the best I ever played behind. You know, and you know, we were very inactive in the infield when he pitched because he threw so hard. You know, we didn't get much action. It was mostly fly balls, strikeouts, and walks.
Right.
So you know, half the game is standing just kind of watching him.
He was incredible. I mean, into his 40s. Still throwing up around 100 miles an hour. As that one's fouled back by Contreras. But how do you do that?
Well, the 2 best guys that I ever played behind was Ryan and Louis Tiant, who tonight is in the luxury suite, the Legend Suite here at Fenway. They were great. I mean, if you made a mistake behind them, they would call you in and say, hey, don't worry about it, man. It's okay. You know, we're going to get a double play right here. I mean, Brian, in Brian's case, said, I'm going to strike the side out. Don't worry about the error. You know, they were great as far as that goes. You know, I can't say the same for everybody, but you know, they were two real professional guys that didn't let stuff like that bother them.
I think they ought to both be in the Hall of Fame. One of them is. Louis Tiant here tonight. Contreras lays off.
Louis was really funny to play behind because, you know, everybody gives up home runs. And I remember one game we played here at Fenway Park and somebody hit one. I can't remember who it was. And Louis threw the ball and it was a crack of the bat. And all I could hear was Louis go, "Oh my God."
That's great.
It was unbelievable.
Like, he was impressed.
Yeah, he was impressed with it.
Louis has such a great sense of humor, and that one in there for a strike to make it 2-2. If you ever get the chance to see him in person, he'll make you laugh.
If you want to see a comedy show, him and Rice in spring training are hilarious. I mean, that is an act. They should take that on the road.
Hayward on deck. By the way, yesterday the 15-year anniversary of Derek Lowe's no-hitter. Nothing like that will happen tonight. Red Sox swinging the bats early, and the Cubs trying to get a little closer. There's a flare, and Pedroia out to right to make the play. Back to second base, Russell, and 2 down. Arrieta, back in 2014, pitched a great game here at Fenway Park. It's not always been the case for him against the Red Sox, but he went 7 2/3 of no-hit baseball. And that was before Stephen Drew broke it up. There were a lot of Cub fans in attendance then. I think everybody gave him a hand there. It was 3 years ago. Tonight the Red Sox 2 batters in put any end to any thought of a no-hitter because Benintendi took him into the bullpen with a home run. Hayward 0 for 1. He struck out first trip. Fans with Benjamin Moore, you can paint like no other. Go to benjaminmoore.com to find your nearest retailer. Pomerance allowing a base hit and committing an error, but trying to freeze that runner at second. He's 1 strike away from doing that.
Yeah, I think you stay with that breaking ball, you probably got him again. That's how he struck him out back in the second inning on the curveball, and he hasn't had real good swings on that pitch at all.
Hayward's an outstanding defensive outfielder. He's won 3 Gold Gloves. One of the very best in the National League. Now Pomerance will step off, and here comes Vasquez.
Tired of waiting in line in a Fenway Park? With the MajorLeagueBaseball.com ballpark app, you can use the electronic ticket feature to enter through the mobile ticket fast lane. Stop waiting and download the ballpark app today.
All right, temperature 81 degrees when we get underway. Swung on and missed. Down he goes again. The tag applied for the K. Pomerance gets out of the inning unscathed. 5-2 Red Sox. strikes out hunger program. Digital Federal Credit Union. See what DCU can save you. Subaru Retailers of New England. And by LL Bean, inspiring products designed for a reason. Jerry Remy, Dave O'Brien, and Tom Caron with you from Fenway Park. Red Sox ahead 5-2. First encounter of 3 against the Chicago Cubs. Red Sox got 5 right away against Arrieta. But they've gone in order each of the last 2 innings. Vasquez did some damage in the opening frame with a base hit, driving in a run. He'll be followed by Hernandez, and then Xander Bogaerts will be batting for the 3rd time already, and we're only in the 4th inning. Arrieta out of the state of Maryland, fires and misses.
Not a bad pitch right there. That could have gone as a strike. So instead of being 0-2, Vasquez gets that count to 1-1. Borderline call.
Vasquez hitting at 500 here. He lines that one foul. Going to be a wonderful feeling here at the end of April to look up and see a 500 batting average on a big scoreboard.
Yeah, they really play him to the opposite field too, especially in the outfield. Very shallow out there is Haywood and Wright, as you can see, and Almora shading over.
Want to take a picture of that if you're Christian Vasquez. As the number 2 catcher. He's also been driving in some runs from the lower part of the order. And another base hit for him as he golfs it into right field. He's 2 for 2.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. I mean, you can do that all day long. It looks like, you know, just take those pitches, just serve them to the opposite field. First time on a line, this time on the ground. Low fastball, good pitch by Arrieta, but good hitting again by Vasquez. He's got that opposite field swing perfect right now.
Hits just keep on coming for Christian Vasquez.
Makes the game fun.
Sends up Hernandez 0 for 1 with a fly to left. He was one of 10 Red Sox who batted in the 1st inning against Jake Arrieta. But that was the first hit since the 1st for the Red Sox. And here's another one up the middle of diamond, a miss by Russell. Vasquez takes the turn, heads to get back in, and he is safely. Hernandez with a single, 1st and 2nd. Red Sox trying to put together another rally inning.
Now Red Sox getting good production from the bottom of the order tonight. You know, you got Bradley and Vasquez in the 1st inning. Now you got Vasquez and Hernandez leading off the 4th inning with back-to-back base hits. Vasquez was thinking about 3rd base, but wisely puts on the brakes because it was a very good job by Almora Jr. to charge that ball in center field.
Xander Bogaerts for the 3rd time. He has lined out, struck out. 5 RBIs so far, looking for number 6 right here. Benintendi on deck, and that's ball 1. Now game 2 tomorrow night. Actually tomorrow afternoon at 4:05. It'll be Stephen Wright and John Lackey. And then on Sunday night, Eduardo Rodriguez and Kyle Hendricks. That's at 8:05. Sunday Night Baseball from Fenway. Then the Orioles are back in town. And the 1-0. That breaking ball didn't snap. 2-0.
Yeah, tried the curveball. You know, you read the break as a hitter, and you realize that this one is not going to break. It's spinning, but there's not going to be much movement on it, and pretty easy to get out of the way for Bogaerts.
It's a World Baseball Classic Netherlands jersey for Xander. 2 on and nobody out here in the 4th inning. 2-1. In the WBC, Xander's numbers: 227. He was a 3rd baseman. Did not play shortstop. Two one. In tight. Good count for him now. Red Sox 5, Cubs 2. Red Sox bidding for more. And the 3-1. And he missed with it for ball 4, and they're all loaded up for Benintendi. Arrieta's pitching line brought to you by your Eastern Lexus dealers. That was his second walk. Been a strange outing for him.
Yeah, it really has been. Settled down nicely in the second and third, but the bottom of the batting order got things going here in the 4th inning. Now this could be a put-away inning for the Red Sox. First inning, Benintendi gets it started. You see the location of the fastball. It's going to be inside part of the plate, and Benintendi cleans it out. And the ball carrying much better tonight in these warm conditions. Haywood can't get to it, and the Red Sox get on the board very quickly.
Nobody out. They're all filled up. And for Arrieta here in the 4th inning, the Wolf is at the door. Red Sox could knock him out. They have activity in the bullpen for Chicago. Mike Montgomery, the left-hander, just beginning to throw. Vasquez at third, Hernandez at second, Bogaerts at first base. And the 0-1 pitch. 2 strikes on Benintendi.
Talk about early in the game, only the 4th inning, but as I mentioned, this could be a put-away inning for the Red Sox. Bases loaded, nobody out. You get 5 runs on the board already.
Vasquez, Hernandez, Xander Bogaerts after taking the walk. And a 2-strike pitch. Couldn't get him to chase that.
Hadn't seen a fastball yet.
Lots of Cubs fans here tonight. They're getting a little nervous right now. Benintendi has already homered, his 2nd of the year. Will he get a pitch to lean on here? He's ready in a 1-2. Got a piece.
I think Arrieta got away with one there. That fastball was supposed to be away from Benintendi. It did get the middle of the plate, but fouled off.
Mookie Betts up next. All loaded up for the Red Sox here in the 4th inning. And a 1-2. And he struck him out. Caught him looking. 1 away.
Well, it was soft stuff early in the count, hard stuff late. Let's take a look at the pitch sequence that time with the bases loaded. He starts him off with a curveball that's going to miss outside. Then a changeup, back-to-back changeups. He doubles up on it. Back to the fastball that was supposed to be away. That was a good pitch to hit. And then the fastball right in the inside corner. Everything had been away until the last pitch.
Benintendi not so sure on that last pitch that it was actually in the strike zone, but called out by Mike Everett. Now Mookie Betts, who has doubled and scored and popped to short, 1 for 2. Buried the first one for ball 1.
Nice block by Contreras, saves a run right there, blocking that breaking ball in the dirt.
Mookie's last 27 games against the National League coming into tonight, he's hitting .349. Kind of Dustin Pedroia numbers against the National League. No place to put him. All filled up with 1 out. And foul back to make it 1-1. .81 pitches. Very economical in the second inning after a disastrous first. Red Sox made him throw 42 in the first inning. Vasquez at third, Hernandez at second, Bogaerts leading at first. One and two. Arrieta, yeah, he can get nasty.
Yeah, pretty tough slider right there, down and away from Betts. Betts didn't pick it up very well.
It's kind of pitch that helped him win 22 games 2 years ago. Ball and 2 strikes on Mookie Betts, and here it comes. 2-2. Hanley Ramirez on deck. 1 gone and the 2-2 and the bases jammed. Shot there to third base, maybe a double play, diving back, he's out. The Cubs turn 2 and they get out of the inning. Vasquez could not get back in time. Now the Red Sox may want to take a look at this.
Tough to tell from that angle right there. You see the umpires on the move. Now let's take a look here. I believe the tag got there before the hand got in.
And the Red Sox are not going to challenge. That is a double play to retire the side. Red Sox loading up the bases and cannot score. Products, and you'll have a chance to win a brand new 2017 pickup truck. Learn how at harveybp.com/win. Well, the Red Sox were looking for a big inning there, had the bases loaded but did not score. Vasquez couldn't get back, doubled up by Bryant at third base.
Yeah, now is a bit of a base running blunder too by Vasquez, and I'll explain why after this pitch.
To Baez, and that's in for a strike.
You know, you're in a situation with the bases loaded, and when contact's made, you shouldn't be going like that unless it all goes through. Make sure it goes through. You got to score from third base anyway. So anything out of line that's hitting that direction, you've got to kind of not take a secondary lead on contact. And Bryant made a heck of a play by going to the bag and making the tag before Vasquez get back, but in all actuality, really, to me, that's a base running blunder.
That backfires on the Red Sox. Seem to have Arrieta on the ropes. Fine play by Bryant and the sliding tag into the bag. Baez hit into a double play himself first time up. They went 6-4-3, so he's 0 for 1. Red Sox still leading at 5-2, but that was a golden chance. Now Mora on deck and Kyle Schwarber for Chicago. Big swing and a miss. He got him. He struck him out. So Baez goes down hacking. And one away here in the 5th. He decided not to run.
And I'm seeing more guys not run the first base on balls that are dropped by a catcher. It's getting like ridiculous because, I very seldom do you make it. I get that, but make the effort. At least make the catcher throw the ball. He might throw it away.
Once in a blue moon, you do see that.
Yeah.
Throws it up the right field line.
It's like strike 3 and it doesn't matter anymore.
Now Mora with a home run first trip, his second. One man gone in the 0-1. Pedroia with a chance from the dirt. He'll get him. 2 up, 2 down. Fans, be sure to stop by Plainridge Park Casino. Plainridge Park Casino, just 45 minutes from Boston. Pomerance could really benefit from a 1-2-3 inning. He's not had one yet. So far 64 pitches for the 28-year-old left-hander from Tennessee. He's kept Schwarber right there at home plate. He struck him out twice. Schwarber was a big college star at the University of Indiana.
A lot of times if you come to the game getting back to that base running play and you're in the stands and you look at the third base coach, they'll give you the sign where they put their arms out like, and what they're saying is make the ball get through, make the ball get through. And so they don't, they don't want you being doubled up. And that's exactly what happened with Vasquez there. He got off the bag too far, took a couple more steps on contact, then couldn't get back in time. You got to score easy if the ball gets by him.
And the 0-2. That's into left field for a base hit, maybe more down the line. Benintendi scoops and fires and holds him to a single. Schwarber just trying to hold up, but he's got himself a single.
Just reached out and found some happy zone out there in the opposite field. I mean, nobody over there. That pitch was away from him. He reaches out and just punches it down the left field line. Now, good job by Benintendi. He covered a lot of ground to get there and hold him to a single, keep him out of scoring position. But with this guy coming to the plate, Bryant, he is in scoring position.
It sure is Bryant with a mammoth home run in the first inning. Went 449 feet over the monster seats. He's now hit safely in 9 in a row. Tom Caron had a terrific interview from the stands with his dad Mike, a former Red Sox farmhand. When Bryant made his first All-Star team a couple of years ago, he was also selected for Home Run Derby, and he said, I promised my dad would throw to me. He would be my pitcher in Home Run Derby should that ever happen, and he did. They had that dream together. Wonderful time for them. That was in 2015. Longest home run at Fenway this year. Sox up 5-2. And a 2-0 to Bryant. Inside.
Not a bad pitch at all right there by Pomerance. I wouldn't be at all surprised that Bryant has the green light here. 3 balls and no strikes. There's the curveball. Looked like it cut the corner, but apparently not. Maybe called for being too low. Watch out here.
Three and one.
Well, I thought he'd be hacking at that. 3-0 fastball. Got a left-hander on deck.
But a hitter's count with 2 down, a man on. And the 3-1 pitch to Bryant. And he walked him. Another one very close.
Yeah, that's another good. That one was better than the other one. Red Sox season ticket holders experience the best seats, price, and benefits Fenway has to offer. For information on becoming a season ticket holder, please visit redsox.com/season tickets or call 877 Red Sox 9 today.
Take a look at that last pitch.
Yeah, this was better than the third pitch, as you can see, but not getting the call. And Pomerance can't believe it. Make the perfect pitch and don't get it.
So first and second, 2 away, and now another dangerous hitter, Anthony Rizzo. He has flied out twice. 0 for 2 tonight, and that makes him 0 for 10 against Pomerance in his career. He has been an RBI machine the last couple of years. Hot shot, but Pedroia handles that. On to first to get him. Pomerance a couple times in trouble, getting out of it with a big pitch. 5-2 Boston. Moment honoring the 07 World Championship team, and in game number 22 the Red Sox would beat up on the Yankees 11-4. Kevin Youkilis and Julio Lugo each homered, drove in 3 runs. Daisuke got his 3rd win of the season.
And Ukes in the house tonight. He was behind the batting cage prior to the ball game, talking with Pedro Martinez.
A lot of great moments around that batting cage tonight. Down on the field in the hours before the game. Here's Hanley Ramirez. A single and a ground out. And he has scored a run. Hanley in his career against the Cubs, really good numbers. .302 with 11 homers. Of course, a lot of time in the National League with the Marlins and the Dodgers. And chops a foul at the plate. In fact, his last 29 games against them, he's hitting over .360. He'll be followed by Moreland and then Pedroia. That's right, Dustin Pedroia batting 6th tonight. You're just tuning in for the first time in his career. That means he is now hit in every position in the batting order. Oh-2. That missed badly.
I'll tell you, that's very strange, too, for a player that's accustomed to getting up in the first inning. You know, all of a sudden you're down in the 6th spot in the batting order. You don't know what to do with yourself when you come off the field in the bottom of the 1st. You hope they have some kind of rally so you can get up to the plate. But it's definitely a strange feeling. Most people say, "Oh, what difference does it make?" It does make a difference. It really does. The way players feel.
2-2.
Kind of whole routine is set, you know, on where you hit in the lineup, where you feel comfortable.
Creatures of habit.
Yep.
My experience has been nobody's close to baseball players as far as following that habit, following that routine, and wanting it to be the same. There's a drive, head of the wall. Zobrist will play it off the green. A shot for a long single. He's back into first base, and he's 2 for 3 tonight.
That's a rope right there by Hanley off that left field wall. Hit so hard that he has to stay at first base. Nicely played by Zobrist in left field, but boy, Hanley gets the barrel of the bat on that, and that didn't take very long at all. It wasn't exit velocity, but it was wall velocity that time.
That's putting a dent on it. Chatting up Rizzo there. As we mentioned, Rizzo is a huge Hanley fan. He's his favorite player. Former Red Sox fireman. Here's Mitch Moreland now. There goes Hanley Ramirez. Big swing and a miss. Throw down. The tag. He's out. So Contreras tossing it down there. Looked like from his knees. And Hanley Ramirez, we'll see now. John Farrell's thinking about a challenge.
Well, there's the slide. The tag looks like it's on the back before Hanley gets to the bag. I don't think this will be challenged. Gets the backside. How about that throw by Contreras?
He's really been excellent this season for Chicago, throwing out base stealers. And he gets Hanley here. Take a look at the throw.
I mean, watch him from his knees.
It's the 6th man he's cut down this season. 0-1 pitch will miss. I remember Benito Santiago throwing from his knees over in the National League early on, and Pudge Rodriguez too.
I mean, that's, you know, that. Just think about that. I mean, that's all arm action. No legs to help you out.
Yeah, not many do that.
I mean, if he comes out of that crouch, Hanley's got a stolen base.
Sox ahead 5-2 in the 5th. Now the bases are empty for Moreland. Pedroia on deck. And Montgomery's up for the 2nd time in their bullpen. The pitch count's getting closer to 100 for Arrieta. Weighted in that 1st inning to the tune of 42. Red Sox knocked him around, and he was wild. So 3-2 now on Moreland. That double in the 1st inning drove in a run. It was his 12th, which leads the majors. Mitch had been scuffling with the bat in recent games like so many of his teammates, but Red Sox put up 5 runs right away. And he walks him. So he's walked 3 men. Time now for a game break. Brought to you by Jordan's, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. Here's Adam Pellerin. .470. Ball's flying in the big leagues tonight. So another walk here by Arrieta. Walked 3 men, including Dustin Pedroia, in the first inning. Pedroia's also struck out. Chopped along third, but a foul ball for a strike. So the next pitch for Jake Arrieta will be 97. .58 strikes, that's 60%. Tell you, one of the other things about watching Chris Sale that is really remarkable is how steady he is with the high number of strikes all night. It's always around 75% or higher.
Yeah.
Pretty incredible.
Does it with all 3 of his pitches too. His fastball, his slider, his changeup.
Tough loss last night. He was magnanimous about it. He said, I got outpitched by Tanaka. Into center field. That'll drop down for a base hit for Pedroia. And Moreland into second.
Looks like Joe Madden's coming out. That might be it for Arrieta in this game tonight.
Chatting up Brian Butterfield as he walks by. Former Tampa Bay skipper, now in his 3rd year with the Cubs, and going to the bullpen. So the Red Sox knock out one of the best in Arrieta in the 5th inning tonight. He did a lot of damage in that opening frame. Sox ahead 5-2, and we'll have more in a moment. They did it in 04 and 07. They can do it again. Shop now during the Monster Deal Plus 60. The Red Sox have taken Arrieta out of the ballgame after just 4 1/3, 98 pitches, 42 of those in the first inning. He gives way to the left-hander Montgomery. 12 2/3 innings in 8 outings. He's walked 9 men. First and second, Jackie Bradley, the batter. He has singled in a run and struck out. Last couple innings, the Red Sox are getting opportunities to add on to this 3-run advantage. A curveball for a strike on Jackie, who has singled and struck out, drove in a run in that first inning when the Red Sox sent 10 men to hit. Now it's Moreland and Pedroia. And the 0-1. Jackie's seen him before, kind of likes what he sees. Maybe not necessarily the first two breaking balls. 1-2.
Trying to get him to chase that fastball way off the outside edge. There's something you didn't see 30 years ago.
Yeah, that's Baseball Reference there. We use that a lot. Get your splits. Just got a piece of that one. Oh, you're right. There's just so much information, so much technology.
Oh.
You got to really pick and choose what you want to use. Right at your fingertips. Orland at second, Pedroia at first, one away. High chop on the infield. Baez to the bag, got it out, slings it, and gets him. That's a fine play there to retire the side. Last couple of innings, the double play has really hurt the Sox. Boston up 5-2. Southwest, yes, to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Lexus and the Lexus Strikes Out Hunger Program. Sullivan Tire and Complete Auto Service. Citizens Bank. Visit citizensbank.com. And by Spartan Race. Use promo code NESSON for 20% off at Spartan.com. Sixth inning underway here. Red Sox with a 5-2 lead. They've out hit the Cubs 10-6. Last couple of innings, though, the Red Sox were scoring chances, short-circuited by double plays. Zobrist leading off here. He looks at a strike. Well, among the old friends in the stands tonight, one of the funniest guys around, Ryan Dempster, of course, pitched for both of these franchises, joined by TC.
Yeah, OB, thanks. Kind of worlds colliding for Ryan Dempster here. You're such a great Cub for so long. Won a championship here in 2013. How much fun is this for you?
This is great, actually, to sit here, these incredible seats right behind home plate, and two places that I love so dearly, obviously, the Cubs, and my 1 year in Boston felt like 10 years, and I can't honestly say I have a bad memory. It was the most incredible year of my career. I absolutely love and cherish every moment of it. I'm honored to come back here to throw out a first pitch tonight. It's just been spectacular.
That 2013 team, I don't think I've ever seen a connection between a team and a city like that. After what the city went through with the Boston Marathon that year, and you guys winning the championship, that parade stopping at the finish line, how emotional was all of that for you when you finally walked away from it?
Yeah, it really was. It was emotional during the time. I even remember our trip to Cleveland and going there and coming together as a team and really be bonded and to just see what we could do on the baseball field that provided a little bit of relief for a city, an incredible city like Boston, who kind of came together, and it wasn't just our championship, it was an entire city's championship, and it was just so special to be a part of.
A lot of people thought these two teams could meet this year in the World Series. I know it's still early in April, but I can't but thinking you could be the first guy to ever throw out a pitch at each team's stadium in a World Series. You could throw game one of the places and game three at the other place.
That would be, I'll take that. I would love to see that. I mean, what better for the game of baseball than see the Red Sox and the Cubs in the World Series? But it's a long way away from that. But both teams are, you know, pretty well loaded, pretty stacked teams with a bunch of talent, and they definitely both have the possibility of getting there in the end.
All right, Ryan, you of all people can answer this question. How similar are Red Sox fans and Cubs fans?
Very similar. They both love to drink beer, and they're both very passionate about their team. And I think that was one of my favorite things I loved about both places was when you came to the ballpark and you walked. For me, I always walked to the field. Lived always close to the ballpark. And it was like nothing else you'd ever been a part of. It was a sense of community. You would pass the door guy at the Hotel Commonwealth, or, you know, walk into the field and you pass somebody at Bernie's in Chicago. It doesn't matter. It's always like, hey, let's get them tonight. And it was always more than just you and your teammates against the other team. It felt like an entire city, an entire community against the other team. And to me, that's super special.
He's got a ring on each finger and he wears them well. Great to see Ryan Dempster back at the ballpark. Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, good to see you. Thanks.
Back upstairs, guys.
Sure is. Great to see him again. One of the funnier guys in baseball. No question about that. Great sense of humor. Throwing out first pitch earlier. Yeah, that sparks the imagination, as TC said. Maybe, just maybe, come October, you can throw out a first ball in a World Series for the Red Sox and the Cubs. A lot of people were discussing that during spring training, you know, that possibility.
Now, a lot of things discussed in spring training. And then after spring training, there's a lot of baseball left to play.
Yeah. Long way to go. City of Chicago in cloud nine after that championship. First title since 1908. Addison Russell at the plate here. Swings and got a piece of it, fouled it away. 2-2 the count. They hadn't even played in a World Series since 1945. All that is water under the bridge now. I got to look at one of the championship rings, one of the broadcasters for the, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I had a chance to see one down on the field. They're pretty nice.
They have 108 diamonds on them. Zobrist on at first base, in there, and got him looking. They made a great pitch to freeze Russell.
Yeah, I don't know if Vasquez had anything to do with that, but if you watch Vasquez, he's going to tap inside like they're coming inside, and then they buzz him on the outside part of the plate with the fastball. You know, hitters can hear that. Now, what Vasquez did before, we didn't get to see it on the replay. He tapped inside, made Russell hear like he was moving inside. Then they buzz him away with the fastball.
Sends up Contreras, who has singled and popped up. Red Sox ahead 5-2. Drew Pomerance pitching line brought to you by Ace Ticket. Right now he's at 85 pitches. He has struck out 6. He's made several key pitches tonight when he has needed to make them.
This is what I was talking about with Vasquez. You know, you as a hitter, you can hear this. Watch him tap the glove down. There it is. Like, I'm moving inside. So you think the ball's going to be inside. Then he pops away. They go with fastball away. Completely fools the hitter.
The 0-1 to Contreras. To the right side is Moreland. Has to go to first base, and now no play. Had trouble with that, first and second for Chicago.
That's a big break there for the Cubs. Moreland, generally 9 out of 10 times, he's got a handle out, go to second base and get the force out. See right there, he just, I don't know if he just took his eye off it, and then from that point he's got no play. Ball hit him right in the heel of the glove.
So trouble here, first and second for Jason Hayward. They're going to charge him with an error after the bobble. Hayward on the night has struck out twice. Good power. He's hit 3 home runs. So it's Zobrist at second, Contreras on at first after the E3. And through there for strike 1.
That's the pitch he's been consistently feeding Hayward, the breaking ball. He struck him out twice with it. The one thing you don't want to do is leave one on the inside part of the plate. That was actually a pretty good one to hit for Hayward.
Pomerance from the set and the 0-1. Boy, he went hacking.
He had another good one right there to hit that stayed inside, but still no contact. Now we'll look at the strikeouts. 2 times up, all with breaking balls and away. That one, first one down and away, and the next one down and away. Let's see if he stays with the breaking ball away. He hasn't come close to hitting it yet.
Trying to fan Jason Hayward for the 3rd time tonight. And the 0-2.
Now that time he tried it away, trying to get him to chase one that was off the outside part of the plate, but he wouldn't buy.
One ball and 2 strikes.
Every pitch that he has seen so far in this at bat has been the curveball. Matter of fact, it's been that way all night long. That ball's down just a little bit more. There's no contact, but just gets a piece of it and has another shot.
Sox and the Cubs playing for just the 3rd time ever in regular season play at Fenway Park. The last visit 3 years ago. 1-2. All even now on Hayward. Back in 2011 they met for the first time at Fenway in nearly 93 years, since the final game of the 1918 World Series, which saw the Red Sox beat the Cubs in 6 games. Zobrist leading, Contreras leading. Tried to hold up. That's a swing and a miss. Strike 3, and he knew it. Mike Everett rung him up for the 3rd time tonight. He got him.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's almost like Pomerance could walk up to Hayward and say, I'm going to throw you a curveball, and he still can't hit it. If he keeps on that outside part of the plate like that, he's having an awful difficult time with it. He missed a couple early in the at bat that were hittable, but when he keep it down there, for him it's not hittable.
Pomerance bearing down again. Now it's Baez, who's hit into a double play and struck out. Drew Pomerance with 7 strikeouts. Looking like this could be his last inning here in the 6th. And drops in strike 1. A couple of times he's had pitches right on the borderline too that I know Carl Willis believes should have been a strike. He didn't get the call. But trying to get out of this mini jam. Red Sox ahead 5-2 in the 6th. So he's at 94 pitches, 62 strikes. Baez, as mentioned, has been a cold hitter, 5 for his last 23. On the infield, Hernandez goes to first and got him. Pomerance gets out of another one. He's been a bit of a Houdini tonight and still has a 5-2 lead in the middle of the 6th. Park in history, would you prefer to watch a game inside the ballpark? And we gave you a couple of different opportunities, and that's Wrigley Field and old Yankee Stadium, and most of you, 79% of you, want it to be Wrigley Field.
That's a landslide victory right there for Wrigley.
Highly recommended. It's a wonderful trip to a great city.
Tell you what, it's tough to get a cab after a game there, though.
Oh, it's impossible.
Impossible.
You're walking, brother. If I knew how to get on the L, I'd do that.
I got lost.
Christian Vasquez steps in, takes a strike, underway here in the bottom of the 6th. Red Sox ahead 5-2 here in game 1. It's a great restaurant town, especially if you like your steak. And a count now 0-2 on Vasquez. Had a good night. He's 2 for 2. He'll be followed by Hernandez and then Bogaerts. Red Sox have been frustrated a little bit over the last couple of innings. Had the bases loaded, 1 down in the 4th. Mookie Betts lined a shot to third. Bryant made the catch and then doubled up Vasquez off the bag. And then last inning, Red Sox actually had 2 hits and a walk, but could not score because of another double play. Pedro Strop getting loose now in their bullpen. Red Sox knocked Arrieta out after 4 1/3 innings. This is Mike Montgomery, the left-hander, into his second frame. Red Sox have hit double figures in hits tonight with 10. To the shortstop, Russell. One man out.
Tonight, after Red Sox coverage on NESN Sports Today, we'll have the latest from the NFL draft in Philly. NESN Sports Today is presented by People's United Bank. See what know-how can do.
Been several Patriot sightings here tonight at Fenway. Robbie Scott now up in the bullpen. So we'll see if the night is over for Pomerance. Hernandez now looked like he wanted a bunt. He's gone 1 for 2 tonight. So he takes ball 1.
Now the breaking ball threw off its timing that time. You know, a lot of times against the when you try to bunt, you time it off a fastball, and if you get an off-speed pitch, it throws off your timing. They're in close at third, in close at first. Pinching on the corners.
Tomorrow afternoon, 4:05, Stephen Wright against John Lackey. Reached out, looped that one towards center, and it's dropping in for a base hit. We've seen Marco do that a couple of times here in the month of April and grab himself a base hit that way.
Yeah, he gets a lot of extension with his swing, and that time the breaking ball, you know, was away from him, but he's able to cover the plate and at least get the bat on the ball. See almost a one-handed swing right there, but he's able to drop it into center field for the base hit.
And no play for Almora. Sox now at 11 hits. Brings up Xander Bogaerts. He's looking for his first tonight. He's 0 for 2 with a walk.
He's got a big hole between first and second base to Xander.
How do you like these two as a hit and run combination?
Well, I like this as a combination because Bogaerts can certainly move the ball in that direction, and Red Sox offense has been stagnant since the first inning. I wouldn't mind seeing the play, especially with one out.
Benintendi on deck. He crushed a home run into the bullpen tonight. Runner holding, and that's down and in.
You know, you look at the Red Sox lineup, we always often talk a hit and run, and there's certain guys that you can look for it from. One would be Bogaerts. The other would be Vasquez, because he can move the ball the other way. And there are certain guys you don't use it with. Guys that strike out a lot. Three box. Everybody looking to Butterfield.
One away and one on. Up the middle with some authority too. He smoked it for a single. Hernandez into second. And back-to-back Red Sox hits off Montgomery.
Boy, that line shot right back over the head of Montgomery. This ball smoked by Bogaerts. Whew. Montgomery ducking on the mound, and he had to.
A little hop to make sure you're still wearing your uniform. Everything's still on snugly. So first and second for Benintendi. And yet another chance now for the third consecutive inning. Really for the fourth consecutive inning. The Red Sox to get on the board again against Madden and the Cubs. Checked his swing and a pitch outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Benintendi put a beautiful swing on it in the first inning against Arrieta. Cubs had taken a 1-0 lead on a Kris Bryant mammoth home run. It went 449, and then Benintendi followed with his into the bullpen to tie the game. The 1-1. Upgrade your day with DD Perks. You can earn a free beverage when you enroll and speed past the line with on-the-go ordering. D.D. Perks, everyone deserves an upgrade. Download the Dunkin' app today. Speeding past the line may not be possible at all locations. On the infield right side, Baez shovels one there onto first, and another double play. That has happened now 3 times in this ball game. The Red Sox have started a rally, and it's died on a twin killing. Fine Italian fabrics available at Men's Warehouse. Text Nesson to 66960 and receive a coupon for $20 off your next purchase of $100 or more. And Men's Warehouse, data rates may apply.
Talk about quick hands. Watch Addison Russell, the shortstop. I mean, it's like lightning how fast he gets that ball out of his glove to first base. You know, that's one of the qualifications for a middle infield, the quick hands, and that is very quick right there.
So Red Sox 3 consecutive innings have threatened to score but have hit into a double play. Robbie Scott out of the bullpen now for the 8th time. He's pitched well. Tossed a scoreless 9th inning Wednesday night against the Yankees. Here's Almora, the center fielder. He homered in the 3rd inning. He's also grounded to second. So this one into the hands of both bullpens. Drew Pomerance pitched well over 6 innings. He can win it. He struck out 7. And it's Kelly behind Scott in the Sox pen. Schwarber on deck and then Bryant. And a 2-0 pop foul out of play.
Well, you mentioned Abood, you know, and TC tonight is styling with a new suit.
Boy, isn't he?
I mean, TC is a mannequin tonight. Look at this, and pocket thing and everything.
Oh, he's got the pocket thing. What is that thing?
That's sharp.
It's a lovely pocket square.
You got some.
Not a microphone, clearly. I had to find that. That is that Steve Lyons has put me to shame. He taught me that you have to wear one of those all the time. And Jim Rice, by the way, Jim Rice has been known to wear like 2 or 3 of these at the same time, like 3 different ones shoved into the pocket.
Yep.
Mere mortals like us can't do that.
That's a gift if you could pull that off.
You look good, TC.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Jerry. Jerry, you were looking good down on the field before the game. Had your suit on?
Yeah, but this suit's about 3 years old. I have not got a new suit yet. Dave got his today. I'm still waiting on mine.
I got a delivery today, and I think the one that TC's wearing, I think I picked out that exact same suit. So glad I didn't wear that tonight.
Someday we will all wear the same suit. I'm convinced of it.
Yes, we will.
Yeah. I got to actually get down here and get measured, I guess. I don't know. It's tough to get.
Yeah. You're due.
Yeah.
Due for some new threads. This looks great, but it's time.
Oh, yeah, it's time. We'll figure it out.
Tom Stylen on a Friday night. Here comes the 3-2 to Almora. And outside for ball 4.
Don't miss WB Mason Extra Innings Live right after the game. Adam Pellerin, Dennis Eckersley, and Steve Lyons will break down tonight's game, and you'll hear from Drew Pomerance and John Farrell. Whatever, whenever, wherever. Who but WB Mason?
A leadoff walk here will bring up Schwarber, who's a home run threat on the night. 2 strikeouts and a single against Drew Pomerance.
And this might be the last batter for Scott this game. You've got Bryant on deck. You got Kelly warming in the bullpen.
Very different contest from last night. Last night's game was over about now. And he'll lay off the first one downstairs for ball 1. Yesterday's game took 2 hours 21 minutes. Sale and Tanaka. Red Sox scored 5 times in the first inning tonight. They have not scored since. Cubs with solo runs in the first and the third. They've been held to 6 hits. And a 1-0. A strike to even the count.
Red Sox now will go into a shift. They'll put Marco Hernandez between first and second base and keep the double play combination together in Pedroia and Bogaerts.
One looking to bunt and fouls it away. His base hit. He checked his swing and line one into left field.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea at all. You know, you got the shift on. The shortstop's way back. All you got to do is get it in fair territory. You got yourself a base hit. You're down by 3 runs. I mean, the home run's still not going to give you the lead. You're facing a left-hander. Not a bad idea at all.
But now 1-2.
Boy, Vasquez wants this upstairs.
Kris Bryant lurking on deck for Chicago. National League most valuable player. Runner holds. Wave and a miss, and he got him. 74 with that curveball to fan him. And here comes John Farrell. So he'll make a move to the bullpen right now with Bryant coming up. And it'll be power against power. Joe Kelly was hitting 101 miles an hour the other night. Runner left at first base. Red Sox ahead 5-2 here in the 7th, and more coming up. Red Sox fuels your performance on and off the field. Sleep like the pros for maximum recovery. Build your performance sleep system at bedgear.com today. Sleep, as Jerry will tell you, fuels everything.
Ah, terrific. Terrific stuff.
One man out, and Kelly coming on to face Bryant. This should be fun. Bryant has homered on the Lansdowne. He's also grounded out and taken ball 4. Kelly coming up a really strong effort against the Yankees. 2 strikeouts in an inning in the 3rd. And it's Almora, the runner at first base. Red Sox up 5-2, and he pounds in the first at 99. So the Red Sox will need a strong effort out of the pen tonight. Rizzo on deck. Here's the 0-1. 101 there.
You know, you look at the scouting report, and that's what Bryant did when Kelly was coming in. And, you know, it shows 99 and sometimes touches 100. And it looked to me like the first pitch he was taking all the way just to kind of gauge how hard he's throwing.
The 1-1 coming. Foul away. Back to his home run swing in the first inning.
Now this was on a fastball. Tried to elevate it. They wanted to go upstairs. That's exactly where they got it. But still, Bryant able to take it out of Fenway.
And where's that number 17? Because his dad Mike, who's in the stands here tonight, wore that as a minor leaguer in the Red Sox system as an infielder. Kelly trying to strike him out. 2-2.
There's that pitch at 101.
And a quiet night for Rizzo so far. On the topic of Red Sox former farmhands, he's 0 for 3. And Kelly sets for the 2-2. Now full count. Red Sox pen has been excellent, really. Ranks among the major league leaders in ERA, 2.10. That's number 3 in the majors. 3rd in opponents' batting average. 2nd in slugging percentage. A lot of good numbers out there. And the 3-2 will not be made. Back in safely, Almora. A full count on Kris Bryant. One away. Runner at first will hold. And that is in there. He got him, and that was on the swing, according to Mike Everett. He struck him out with another big fastball.
There was also a nasty fastball on the outside corner, too. Watch the location of this fastball. Outside corner. That's a good pitch. It said he swung. It didn't look like a swing to me.
Nor to me.
But the pitch looked like a strike.
I agree. But it was on the swing.
Yeah. Well, either way.
Counts the same, and a big one for Joe Kelly. Now Rizzo has gone 0 for 3. He has flied to left, to right. He's grounded out to second. He does not want to see Drew Pomerance anytime soon. Against Drew, he's 0 for 11. Rizzo had a great year last year. All-Star, Gold Glove. Quiet night so far. That'll be in there for a strike.
He's got that unique batting style where he holds his hands almost around his belt buckle, very low.
How about this? 2 for 19 against Joe Kelly.
Watch where he puts his hands. I mean, a lot of hitters don't set up this way. I mean, look how low that is.
Chop foul. He's ahead. Joe Kelly 1-2 on Rizzo.
Stay tuned for Red Sox Final presented by Plain Ridge Park Casino. Adam Pellerin, Eck, Steve Lyons will preview Stephen Wright's start tomorrow against the Cubs.
Joe Kelly so far 8 1/3 scoreless innings. That's the string coming into tonight.
They want to go upstairs with the fastball as hard as he can throw it.
Just got a piece at 100 miles an hour. Talking about tomorrow, Lackey against Wright. Stephen Wright 3-0 in interleague play with a 2.79 ERA. Game at 4:05 tomorrow. John Lackey helping the Red Sox win a world championship.
Those guys were close when they were here, and they remain close in Chicago. Lackey
and John Lester. Big hand for those guys. 1-2, line shot into right. Pedroia can't get it. Now Mora takes the turn. He is heading into third base. Throw comes to second. Rizzo stinging a single to right field, and they're on the corners for the Cubs.
Yeah, they tried to get him with a slider that time, and he was ready for it. A hard line drive by the shift and Pedroia out there in right field. There's the breaking ball, gets a lot of the plate, and it's down. Rizzo likes that ball down in the zone and hits that one very hard for the base hit. So a little first and third action. Jumps out of the way, and no problem getting into third base.
So it'll be Zobrist next with 2 down. He represents a tying run at the plate here in the 7th inning. 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. That one skips away. Here comes the run. Now Mora scores. This is a 2-run game. Down to second is Rizzo on a wild pitch.
Another breaking ball right there from Kelly that bounces and deflects away from Vasquez. Kind of a gift run right here. See that ball kick back to the right. Off the arm, it looked like a Vasquez, and you got a ball game.
I sure do. First inning, it looked like the Red Sox were going to run away with it when they scored 5 times, but despite some chances to get on the board since, the double play has really been a factor against them, and now suddenly a 2-run game. And a man in scoring position for Chicago. Ace Ticket is Boston's trusted source for Red Sox tickets with the best seats at the lowest prices with a 200% guarantee. Cubs here for the weekend. Some seats as low as $39. Visit aceticket.com now or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. Two 2-0 to count on Zobrist. Switch hitter up on the left side. He was the World Series MVP for Chicago. Kelly's 2-0. Hammered foul.
And I'm watching Rizzo at second base, and you know, a good tip for young players out there that play on the Major League Diamond. You know, with 2 outs, you know, you're not going to steal third base. He's not going to steal third base. So when you take your lead, you take it behind the bag. And what that helps you do is when you're going to third base, it helps you cut third base more easily than if you're going straight into it. So, in other words, he's behind the bag.
Line shot, base hit. Bradley charging. They're going to wave in Rizzo. The throw to the wrong side, and another run is in. Zobrist with a solid single to make it 5-4. Jackie Bradley had a chance, but not a good throw.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about too. You know, taking that lead behind the bag, it helps them cut around third base, and they're able to bring that run home. Now, Jackie Bradley, when he throws wild to home plate, generally it's up the first base line. And that ball bouncing up over the head of Moreland. Fortunately, the runner was not able to go in a scoring position. Here's Rizzo. He's actually looking back himself, not at his coach. Shouldn't be doing that, but scores anyway.
2 runs here in the 7th for the Cubs. 1-run game. Addison Russell has singled twice. He's also struck out. Tying run is aboard for Chicago. And the Cubs fans now in full throat. Red Sox fans shouting them down, and here's the 1-0. A high fly ball into right, not deep. Mookie Betts will make the catch and retire the side, but the Cubs have inched a little bit closer, a lot closer now. 1-run game in the middle of the 7th. He chats with Mookie Betts and Joe Kelly at spring training, and Billy makes some French toast with Celtics power forward Jordan Mickey. Don't miss this and more on Dining Playbook tomorrow morning at 9. Dining Playbook driven by your New England Chevy dealers. Well, Mookie Betts will lead things off here in the bottom of the 7th inning in what is now a tight game. 5-4 as the Cubs have rallied. Pedro Strop comes out of their bullpen, where he has been a real factor for about 4 years now. He's been one of the better right-hand relievers in the National League. Last year a 2.85 ERA in 54 appearances. It's a little high this year so far, 5.40. Betts with a double. He's popped up. He's also hit into a double play. Won a 3 by the Sox tonight. On deck, Hanley Ramirez and then Mitch Moreland. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Tuno.
Pedro Strop, former member of the Baltimore Orioles.
It's Hembree in the Sox pen. So he'll pitch in the 8th. 2-1.
A slider on a 2-0 count that time, fooling Betts.
Tell you what, the stands are the most lively they have been all season.
Yep.
Back and forth they go. The fans having a great time as this one's popped up. Into right center field coming on Almora. One gone.
Tomorrow at 3, don't miss Red Sox first pitch presented by Joseph Abboud, available at Men's Warehouse. Pedro Martinez will stop by to chat with TC about the Red Sox and his life after baseball.
The always fascinating Pedro Martinez. And before the game, talking with Chili, I think he might be talking about that breaking ball, and this is how it came off my fingertips, which is unlike anybody ever.
What Chili was asking him is that, Chili throws batting practice, and Chili complains that he cuts a lot of fastballs. And he's trying to ask Pedro, how do I get away from cutting a fastball? And that's what Pedro was trying to explain to him. He's showing him right there how to hold the baseball, so he throws a nice straight fastball instead of a cutter.
And Chili's like, yeah, that feels good.
He's always teaching, always teaching.
And Ramirez with 2 hits tonight. He's gone 2 for 3.
Also, he mentioned to me, he said, I heard you talking about Sale, and he reminded me of Pedro. And he says, I agree. He says, he's got that electric stuff, that he works fast. And Pedro said, he talked to Eduardo Rodriguez, and he said you should watch Sale and try to learn something about working quickly like that.
0-2, cut on and missed. 2 down here in the 7th for the Red Sox.
So where's Rodriguez sitting tonight? Right near Chris Sale. So, I mean, when Pedro speaks, people listen. But he was talking exactly about Eduardo Rodriguez. He says, you got to get near Sale. And he said, you got to, try to work more like him, quickly like him. And that's how Pedro worked. That's how Sale works. And Pedro's a big believer in that.
Bases empty, 2 down for Moreland. Mitch Moreland with a double, a ground out and a walk tonight. Red Sox ahead 5-4. You got to give a little bit of credit, I think, to Jake Arrieta after that nightmarish first inning. He pitched much better, not for a long time, but into the 5th inning. There were a couple occasions where the Red Sox really could have knocked him out of the box and scored a bunch of runs and didn't do it.
You're exactly right. I mean, that's a sign of a very good pitcher. He struggles in the first inning, but then he comes back and he shuts the Red Sox down and gives his team a chance to get back in the game. So even on an off night for him, it still basically did his job by getting through that tough inning.
Drew Pomerance against an excellent lineup, went 6, struck out 7. He certainly did his job. He left with a 5-2 lead, now 5-4. Dustin Pedroia on deck. It's the left-hander Brian Dunsing throwing in the Chicago pen. Red Sox have out hit them 12-8. 2-2 the count. Sox had the bases loaded in the 4th, didn't score. Actually had 3 men on base, not at the same time, but in that 5th inning. Another double play. 2 more hits in the 6th inning, but did not score. Another double play. Boston Bulldogs Running Club hosting their 2nd annual Run for Recovery 5K at Franklin Park Sunday, May 7th. The race a tribute to those battling or have lost their lives to addiction. Still time to register. Visit BostonBulldogsRunning.com for more information. Bounced it up there, 3-2. Red Sox have accepted 3 walks tonight. One of them was Dustin Pedroia in the first inning, and he would be brought in to score. Here's the 3-2. And down he goes with a swing and a miss. Red Sox are retired in order. We go to the 8th inning at Fenway. Red Sox 5, the Cubs 4. Moment, and it came early tonight. Second batter in for the Red Sox, Benintendi, finding the bullpen as he crushes a home run. Hayward went for it and missed, and the Red Sox were on the board to tie it. They would score 4 more times in that first inning. Our game summary brought to you by Xfinity. Problem with the Sox is they haven't scored since then. Arrieta kind of held on. Pomerance was tough over 6 innings. Benintendi with home run number 2. Moreland with an RBI double. He leads the majors in doubles. But now the Red Sox with a 1-run advantage going to the 8th inning. Go to the bullpen again. It'll be the right-hander Heath Hembree.
Hembree seems to be the go-to guy now in these big situations late in games in the 8th inning. It's kind of be up and down all year who the 8th inning guy is. And Joe Kelly coming in today in the 7th. Hembree there the 8th, and they hope to get to Kimbrel in the 9th.
That's a Bod loosening in the pen, so it'll be Contreras, Hayward, and Baez. That's 6, 7, and 8 against Hembree. The Red Sox have not had a pitcher, and that one shot caught by Hernandez.
Whoa.
Absolute rope that he hauls in for out number 1.
You know, from my position here, I mean, this is a rope. When I watch a game, I watch the pitch on a monitor, and then I go to the field. By the time I got to the field, that ball was already in his glove. That's how hard that was hit.
Might be the hardest hit ball all night by either team. Caught by Marco Hernandez. So 1 away for Hayward. He has struck out 3 times. Facing a right-hander this time. Fly toward the wall. Backing up Benintendi. Has to play it off the monster. Hayward takes a wide turn. Benintendi got it in quickly. It'll be a base hit.
Well, that becomes very big. Again, Benintendi, you know, he's done a great job really playing that wall out in left field. He knows it's going to be off the wall. He plays it well. Momentum going towards second base. That's going to hold that runner at first base. You know, you hit a ball like that, you think you got a double, but not here.
That is a long single. This will be John Jay, the former St. Louis Cardinal, to pinch hit for Baez. So they get a left-handed stick up there. He's hitting .375, no homers, a couple of RBIs. And another shot into right field. Hayward will stop at second base. He represents the tying run.
Well, that's 3 balls in this inning, hit very, very hard. The one for an out at third base. The ball off the wall. And now a line shot between first and second. Slider that time. Topspin line drive.
Three bullets. And Miguel Montero announced as a pinch hitter, and here comes John Farrell. And it's going to be a Bod brought in this situation. Montero, the number 2 catcher here tonight anyway. And Hembree knocked around. Cubs are within 1, and we'll have more in a moment. Baseball, stay connected. Get Red Sox home screen icons and app features as well as game day. Download MLB.com at bat today. Fernando Abad out of the bullpen in a huge spot now where the Cubs are rallying. They have for the last couple of innings. They have runners at first and second. Now they had announced Montero. They have pulled him back, and Matt Caesar will now come off the bench and pinch hit in the 9th spot with 2 men on. So both managers going to work. A 5-4 Red Sox lead, and Kimbrel up in the pen for the Red Sox. So we'll see if for Abad it's just one hitter. 1 man out. And a wave and a miss for strike 1.
Change up on the first pitch by Abad. 75 miles an hour. It was up in the zone, but the off speed fooled him.
Abad started the 9th inning in Sunday's win against the Orioles. Gave up a run on 3 hits in 2/3 of an inning. And the 0-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Carl Edwards Jr. throwing in the pen for Madden. Game 1. A lot of intrigue in this one. Cubs now at 10 hits. Red Sox with a dozen. And Abad with a 1-1. Fly foul out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
This is one of those situations, Dave, where the man at first base, because the first baseman isn't holding him on, has to get himself a very good lead so he can get down and try to break up a double play. If you break up the double play, which is hard to do with the new rules, you know, you got a chance to get a run with that man coming around third base. So it's one of the danger zones, really, because the first baseman's not holding you on. He's playing back, so you can get a big lead there, and your job is to try to break up that double play. And by doing that, you may get a run out of it.
It's Jay at first, Hayward at second. And a 1-2 to Caesar. Blocked at the plate by Vasquez. 2-2. Went to the breaking ball. Caesar didn't bite. Schwarber on deck. Certainly the biggest moment of the season for Fernando Abad. Kimbrel still working in the bullpen. They lead at first and second. 1 man gone. He got him. He struck him out. 2 down.
Got him on a changeup. Threw him a couple of changeups in that at bat, the first pitch and the final pitch. And that had good movement on it, moving down and away.
And John Farrell is going to stick with him against Schwarber now with 2 away. Schwarber has struck out 3 times tonight. He's also singled. And the first pitch misses a little high for ball 1. Schwarber with 3 home runs. Hayward leading at second. Jay at first. 1-1.
Infielders have to play as deep as they possibly can right now. You see Pedroia back on the grass. If there's a ground ball, you got to dive and knock it down somehow. Try to keep that ball in the infield.
Abad's 1-1. Pop foul back out of play. One and 2. Two and 2. He had a notion to swing the bat, but he stayed off it. The count is even. The 2-2 to Schwarber. 3 and 2. So the count is full. The runners will be going with 2 down. They will be off with the pitch. High fly foul out of play. And they will do it again.
The situation here puts a little bit more pressure on infielders because with the runners taking off on a ground ball, there's really no force play at second. You've got to make that throw to first base. and any errant throw would bring in a run.
This doesn't feel like an April game.
No, this is good stuff.
3-2. He struck him out. He got him. A bod coming through. We go to the bottom of the 8th at Fenway, and the Red Sox are still up 5-4. Live presented by DCU. TC Eck and Steve Lyons will preview Stephen Wright's start taking on John Lackey and the Cubs. DCU is Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you? That's the biggest moment in a Red Sox uniform, certainly for Fernando Abad. A giant strikeout. In fact, back-to-back Ks of Caesar and Schwarber.
Yeah, both of them on changeups too. Off-speed pitches right there. That one moving down and away, and then lunging right there for the strikeout. 2 huge strikeouts for Abad.
With the tying run at second base. So on to the last half of the 8th inning. Dustin Pedroia leading things off. He's walked, struck out, and singled. He's facing Carl Edwards Jr. Some defensive changes too for Chicago, with the Red Sox on top 5-4. Caesar staying in the ballgame to play center field. Jay remains in to play left. Zobrist moves from left to second. Baez is out. Season so far for the right-hander. He has been tough. Just 1 hit in 8 innings. Red Sox in need of some wiggle room here late.
Fans, don't miss NESN Live weeknights at 5:30. Catch the latest on your favorite New England sports teams. NESN Live is presented by Cross Insurance.
Well, this crowd has been magnificent tonight. This is an April game. Just think about, let your mind wander a little bit into October, and what if they clash then? A long way to go, but with these two cities. Been a lot of fun.
And it's been a very good game.
Sure has. So much anticipation, and this game has lived up to it. but not done yet here in the last half of the 8th inning. Here's the 2-2. Thought about it, but outside. The count runs full on Pedroia. Jackie Bradley on deck. Edwards Jr., their third man out of the bullpen, all following Arrieta, who went 4 1/3, gave up 5 runs. Line shot, base hit. The leadoff man on here in the bottom of the 8th for the Red Sox.
Now that timing coming back for Pedroia. You know, he'd been off for a while. Timing was not there. Back-to-back hits, 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 8th. Little cut fastball, as you can see right there. Pedroia gets the good part of the bat on it, puts it on the line, gets the hands above the baseball. Likes that ball up in the zone.
He sent up Jackie Bradley. Pretty fair bunter. He has singled, struck out, and hit into a double play tonight. 5-4 Sox in the 8th. And he looks at strike 1. Vasquez would be next. A ball, a strike on Jackie. Red Sox 7-0 and leading after 7 innings. Kimbrel waiting in the wings, and it's 1-2 on a pitch Jackie didn't see, an 80-mile-an-hour curveball.
I believe that's the first one he's thrown since he's been in the game. First look at it for Jackie Bradley. The ball was never really in the strike zone.
Sox with 13 hits on the night. Cubs with 10. On the corner, according to Everett, but Jackie complaining that ball was outside.
Wow. Farrell coming out now to get in between Bradley and the home plate umpire. He can't argue balls and strikes, but he's trying to protect Jackie from getting thrown out of the ball game. Very questionable strike here. Pitchers love it. Haters hit it. Hitters hate it, I should say.
Well,
but pitchers love to get that call.
that's off the corner. Edwards will take it.
Now, if I'm a pitcher, I say, I got to have that. That's got a piece of the strike zone.
Did it? Vasquez 2 for 3 with 2 singles. Another good night for him, hitting right at 500.
Every time he comes to the plate, I mention the possibility of a hit and run because, I mean, he's a prime candidate for it.
And so good at going to right through that hole.
Yeah.
One away in the 0-1. That dips in for a strike.
That takes care of that. Getting ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. That eliminates that option.
Red Sox up by a run in the 8th. Contreras does throw very well. He's thrown out a base stealer tonight from his knees. .95 and right by him for strike 3, and there are 2 away. CVS Health is investing $50 million over the next 5 years to extend their commitment to helping people lead tobacco-free lives and move us one step closer toward a tobacco-free generation. Learn more at cvshealth.com/be-the-first. And now Marco Hernandez, 2 singles tonight to lift his average to .295. If he should reach, Bogaerts would bat here in the 8th.
You know, I'm not saying they're going to happen. I just try to present options, and an option in this situation with 2 outs, it doesn't have to be a straight out steal for Pedroia. He could try a delay steal. You know, because with 2 outs, that's when you do it. When the infield's back, you try to catch. You're not trying to catch the catcher sleeping. You're trying to catch the infielders sleeping with their head down.
And a 1-0. A strike.
And when I talk about a delay steal, I mean you take 3 crow hop steps. When that ball gets by the hitter, that's when you take off at second base, because you want to have it where the infielders are looking right in toward the hitter and not the runner. You're trying to fool the infielders. Just an option.
Foul ball right behind Brian Butterfield. So 1-2. Due up for the Cubs in the 9th inning with Craig Kimbrel ready. Bryant, Rizzo, Zobrist. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And a 1-2 pitch from the slender right-hander. Cut on and missed. Contreras will dig it and throw him out. So this should be some top of the 9th inning coming up. The flamethrower against Bryant, Rizzo, and Zobrist when we return. Ownership looking for 3 outs from Craig Kimbrel right now. Bob's Discount Furniture going to bat for the Jimmy Fund. Bob will donate $1,000 to the Jimmy Fund for every game saved. Everybody saves at Bob's, the only choice for untouchable furniture value. Available in store at mybobs.com. Kimbrel looking for what would be his 8th save of the season. Got number 7 on Sunday against the Orioles. Working 1/3 of an inning, so he's pretty fresh. But up against Kris Bryant, National League MVP, who has hit a mammoth home run tonight that went 449 feet. Then Anthony Rizzo, and then Ben Zobrist. So a very, very tough lineup. 9th inning, 5-4. And strike one.
100 miles an hour on the first fastball from Kimbrel.
Bryant 1 for 3. Won't chase it. 1-1.
Think about Bryant's last 2 at bats. He saw Joe Kelly at 99 to 100. Kimbrel's first pitch was 100. Second pitch, a breaking ball.
Trying to save the win for Drew Pomerance. A strike.
Breaking ball that starts the knees and breaks over the inside corner. Watch where this starts. Right about at the knee. You see the knee buckle.
The 1-2 to Bryant. Hard shot foul.
What did she make that play look easy? Wow.
Sure did.
That ball was hit hard.
Two. Kimbrel has retired 18 of the last 19 batters he's faced. He is leading the American League in saves at the moment. Two to Bryant. Check swing, and he went. Strike 3. One man gone.
Back to the breaking ball for Kimbrel. This one away from Bryant. The first one was right at his knees. This one outside. And that time he could not check the swing.
A big first out brings up Rizzo, who has 5 home runs this season. On the night, he's 1 for 4 with a base hit. That one ate him up in tight with that curveball. Zobrist on deck. Had a big RBI hit in the 7th inning. Rizzo 0 for 5 with 2 strikeouts against Kimbrel. And despite his blown save at Toronto, Kimbrel remains perfect at Fenway Park. 22 for 22 in career save chances. 1-2.
Outfield very deep for the Red Sox, trying to prevent anything over their head for a 2-base hit to allow a man to get in scoring position, playing no doubles defense.
The 1-2 evens the count. Trying to make it back-to-back Ks. 99, but he fouls that one away.
They got that where they wanted to, too. They wanted to elevate that fastball. He did get it up in the zone, but still, Rizzo able to foul it off. Want to go above the belt against him.
The 2-2. Got him. 2 down.
Good mixture of pitches that time by Kimbrel against Rizzo. He starts him off with a curveball. And he swings and misses. Then he goes to the fastball up and away. Back to the curve. Now back-to-back fastballs. Upstairs and misses. Fastball again fouled off. And then back to the curve.
So the Red Sox pen has struck out the last 4 Cubs. Zobrist will take a strike. Robbie Scott, Joe Kelly, Heath Embry, Fernando Abad in a marvelous effort. And now Kimbrel trying to ice it in the 9th. The 0-1 is Zobrist. 2 strikes on him. What an atmosphere here tonight. And the Sox are a strike away. Hot shot. That one ate up Moreland off his glove and rolls to the side fence. He's heading for second. Pedroia fires in, but it's 2 bases for Zobrist, who smacked it. And it's not done yet. The Cubs have the tying run at second.
Well, give credit to Zobrist right there, hanging tough, down by 2 strikes, and he rifles one right down that first base line. Now you can see that Moreland's close as he's trying to play no doubles, but the ball's hit so hard it gets by him, and once it does become a double. Look at Moreland, close to the line, the reaction, the crossover. But he can't knock it down, and once that gets by him, that's going to be 2 bases for Zobrist.
So it'll send up Addison Russell, who's gone 2 for 4 tonight with 2 singles. 3rd double of the year for Zobrist in a clutch spot. They were down to their last strike. Stopped by Vasquez to keep the runner at second.
Vasquez going to the backhand right here to keep that ball from going to the backstop. Outfield now has moved in. They have to move in now because on a base hit you got to be able to try to throw somebody out at the plate.
2 down in the 9th. And the 1-0. Kimbrel with a 1-1. 2 strikes.
Well, that was a no chancer right there. Fastball up and in. 99 miles an hour. Was supposed to be away. It stays up and in and no contact.
You think number 1 again?
With Kimbrel, he's liable to drop the hook on him.
The 1-2 pitch. Got him! Ball game! And what a game it was. The Red Sox win it 5-4. The Cubs get the tying run to second. Kimbrel leaves them there. He strikes out 3 men in the 9th. I say let's do that again tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. Game number 2 from Fenway. Adam, that was a treat. 5-4 Red Sox take game 1.